Okay, we should be live. Hello.
All right.
Hi.
Welcome,
Trent,
lady.
I don't know if we can survive. I don't know if I can survive 69 swaps, honestly.
Oh, well.
69 swaps.
Yeah, that's what.
Collector swap, 69 preview.
Well, I don't know. That might be a preview of what we got. Who knows?
It could be.
It's a preview of what our person's gonna get. We're gonna drop it into our swap box.
Hey, Johnny, how are you?
So whose idea was this to begin with? Whoever it was, they need to. I'm gonna put them big. And
Okay,
they
wait, listen.
Oh wait, no,
No.
for this, yeah.
Brandy did it, and I said, "Oh, we should all order." So I guess it was my idea, but it came from what Brandy did, so we have to blame her.
Okay.
Hey, we got Johnny Knight, we got Trent.
So who came up with the post though? Was it Brandy that sent the link?
So you guys
Yeah,
said,
Brandy
so
sent
I
the
was
link.
trying to find something that was cheap because what I figured was that if we did something that wasn't too expensive, that even if we got screwed or we all got electric, whatever those are called, scales,
Bobs.
that I'm looking that way because it's literally sitting in my kitchen because I'm not using it. I have a better one that in my bathroom that's already there. So, so the picture showed like 15, 20 different items that you could get, and it was $6, and it was an electronics one. And so I'm like, well, that's a good price. Even with shipping, it was only going to be like $10. So if it was a piece of junk, we're only out $10. There are more expensive ones on there, and I've seen some other YouTubers open the mystery boxes from Temu, and they've gotten some nice stuff in it. Now, whether they're rigged because they're a YouTuber or not, I don't know. But I mean, the one that we had showed like fake Game Boys and things that look like little Nintendo Switches and digital watches and all kinds of stuff. So, I guess, is it worth the gamble? Yes.
It's only what?
I tried. Yeah, I tried to bring up the picture. I was gonna blow up the picture, but when you click on it, it tells you that the listing is no more. It's gone.
It's discontinued.
We
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
first ones, y'all. Sorry.
I couldn't bring it up to show it. So,
But
Yeah.
I did grab something else. I did grab a second mystery item. This is supposed to be a mystery lighter. You don't know what kind of lighter you're going to get, but you're going to get one. But I haven't looked yet, but I just want you to know they didn't even tape it shut. It's like can be opened by anybody. And I mean,
Is there weight to it?
there's weight to
Once
it.
you
'Cause
open
I was
it,
like,
it's like
there
a
better
big
be
lighter
something
from the
in here.
gas station.
You know,
oh my gosh.
Do y'all ever buy clothes off of Amazon?
I
Because
have.
my mom has been buying a bunch on them lately, and they all just come in vacuum sealed bags. Like there's no
Yeah.
outer packaging. It's all just vacuum sealed Ziplocs.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is it really?
I mean, I buy
are they really
t-shirts
that
and stuff.
strapped
I
for
don't buy
cash?
clothes.
I doubt it.
I had ordered some T-shirts from there, like a white long sleeve. I needed for whenever I'd travel to do work, and I think I sent them back because they were just not what I expected. So,
Yeah.
but it came in a clear plastic bag.
Yeah. So it's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah, I think I bought like a pair of shoes or slippers or on someone's Christmas list,
Be
and
right
they were
back.
literally in a vacuum sealed clear bag on my front porch with a sticker on it.
Oh
I
wow!
was like, what?
Every time I've ordered shoes, they always come in the box most of the time. So,
And then I buy things like those football cards, and they come in a box. It's like this big, and that little box of cards is like this big, and all I can hear it is going. Boom, 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 boom.
bought any more cards lately?
Well, I was in a whatnot break, and I did not win. And what I know, the guy's a really good guy. It's a big time mem, and so what he sends out is the Halloween panini. They were like something that you could get at Walmart. It was a big box of cards, and basically there were 2 or 3 cards in each pack, and they were for Halloween. It was like something alternate to give out for trick or treating.
Okay.
And so I didn't expect much because most of the time it's worth about 10 cents what's in there, right? But I hit this,
Oh, yeah.
which is a case hit. This is the number 1 rookie from last year. And
Oh,
this
wow.
card is selling on eBay anywhere between $90 and $150.
You better list that thing, girl.
better sell it for
Yes,
it
that's
goes
selling
down.
on eBay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, list that thing.
I'm not a basketball fan.
Yeah.
I only know a
So
few
tall,
people.
but
I don't know any new. Well, I know a few, but most of the people I know are like Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know, all the,
yeah.
you know, Shaq, you know, all the people from a long
Yeah.
time ago.
I mean, I watch on YouTube, like if I'm trying to fall asleep. No offense to these guys, because they're fun to watch, and I like when they hit something big. Or there's IF Sports, and he does like the top 10 pulls of the week, both retail and like the hobby boxes, because some of those boxes of cards like are $500, $600, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, and obviously I'm not in anywhere financial position to spend that much, so I just do the retail ones every now and again where it's like a $20, $30 box of cards, and you know, if you hit something awesome, and if you don't, you don't. I'm mostly just looking for Lions cards, you know, and if I hit something else, great. A lot of my base cards and stuff I just give to Nolan.
Yeah. Hey, Kenneth.
What's up, Kenneth Bird?
What was that big thing you were showing, Mama J?
Oh, that was my mail that came in.
Oh, okay.
It's
I thought you were gonna.
It's vinyl.
Oh, okay.
Your mail gets delivered at 6 o'clock at night. By that time, I'd give up on it.
Yep.
Me
And
too.
that's actually not. Actually, this was a sub, but I've gotten my mail as late as 8 o'clock at night.
What?
Yeah, I won't go down to the mailbox and get what's in there. That'll wait till tomorrow. But whatever they drop in front of the door, you know, obviously I'm gonna grab that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. So, Mama J, are you doing the mystery lighter in a different video, or are you doing that as
I can do it in this video. I don't care.
I think it
Want
would
me
be
to do it
fun.
now.
A little warm up.
Yeah,
I can do
sure.
it now. All
They
right.
make
So I
some
don't
really cool
remember what I
lighters.
paid for this.
We gotta see the lighter, of course.
Yeah. I
So
think
do
it
you
was
get it from? You got it from Temu or where?
Yeah. I ordered it the same time we ordered these. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I did this order and this order at the same time, but because they're mystery boxes, this one came from Chicago.
Wow.
All the way from Chicago. And like I told the girls, look, it's not been taped. Okay, I'm going to be able to open it. See, and it's not taped.
Is it heavy? Like, is there anything
It feels
actually
like
in there?
there's something in there. Yes. So
Okay.
let's take a look and we will see. Oh, well, there's a box.
A box is in a box.
Hope the
Hopefully
box
that's
isn't
what I've
empty.
been feeling. It's just a box. All right. It says lighter, classic, fashionable.
A good sign.
Well, that's not bad.
Well, it doesn't look too bad. It actually looks kind of neat. Oh, it's first of all, you can see that it'll charge.
Oh.
And I believe that is a radio or something right there.
Well, that's perfect for you.
Right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It looks like a radio. And of course, you know, because we ordered it on Temu. Oh, look, yeah, here's the charger.
Oh, wow.
And here's a strap. But they didn't tell me anything else. Let me see. Oh, wait. No, here we go. It is a waterproof ARC lighter. Lighting switch. Oh, there's a place to light your stuff with a lighting switch. A power, an LED power display, safety switch, ignition button. We're going to take off. Safety cover, ARC flame. Oh, I guess it's not a radio. I guess it just lights up or whatever.
But it looks like a radio.
Yeah, it does look like a radio.
Well, that's pretty cool. How much was that one?
I think this was like $4 or $5. I mean, I'm sure it has no fluid in it. I probably have to charge it. The ARC part doesn't need fluid, so.
Well, is it one of those ones where that has the hot thing on it? I don't know what
That's
that's
what I say. I
called.
don't think this one will need lighter fluid.
Yeah, if you
But
charge
it's
it, I highly
waterproof.
doubt.
I can dunk it in the water.
Yeah, I highly doubt if you would be putting fuel in it if you're
Charging.
putting electricity into it.
Okay, but I don't know how to open it.
That's what the instructions are for.
It doesn't tell you how to open it. Oh my god. All right, there's a safety cover. That's what I'm trying to get off.
Childproof. It's childproof.
More like mama proof.
Oh wait, push. Okay. Oh, there we go.
What are you doing? Come here.
Oh yeah. I don't know that you guys can see that.
Whoa.
Hold on. Wait, I'm about to switch.
Okay.
Trying to get used to doing it again.
See it?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's like
Yeah,
a taser.
So you
almost.
can light it. Guess what works?
So she can go deep sea diving and then come up and light up.
Oh, it's a clear case around it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
You better hope that thing's actually waterproof, or she'll be like swimming in the pool and going.
Yeah. This thing, I think, is what makes it waterproof, but that's actually kind of neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
For $5. I think it was $5. I'm pretty sure.
I'd say that's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I may have to look, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I wouldn't have paid a lot for it.
Yeah.
So, should we all show our mystery boxes that we all got?
Our mystery envelopes, you mean?
Our mystery boxes. Yeah.
Everybody, please note that they are all in the same bubble mailer. They are all the same size, and they are all from Tina Wang in La Puente, California.
Wait. Why is Caitlin's bag's different than ours, isn't it?
No, she's different lighting.
Oh, it
think
looks
so.
like it was a different color.
No, it's
No,
probably
it's
just
just
my
lighting.
lighting.
Oh, okay. So we probably all got the same thing now. You know.
I brought batteries just in case.
Well, I don't have batteries, darn.
Yeah, I don't have batteries right here, so hopefully it doesn't need batteries. All right, so we're gonna cut the top off.
Yes, I think we should all pull it out at the same time.
We will. I got my top cut off.
Pun intended.
All right, mine's open.
It's wrapped in bubble wrap.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Tell me when
Yeah.
you guys are ready.
Are we gonna take the bubble wrap off first, or?
I can. I
Wait,
did.
hang on. Yeah, I can pull that out. Okay.
All right, hang on.
Oh, I think Sassy might have been right. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah, we all got the flashlight.
Wait, it has
No, it's not. It's a laser
no,
pointer.
laser pointer. Mine has keys on it.
Yeah,
mine
mine
has a
does
keyhole
too.
on it.
What the hell are the
weird.
keys for?
I don't know. So you could to get the batteries.
Yeah, because it don't work.
Yeah, you put the key in there and it unlocks for you to open the back. That way, if you give it to a kid or something, they can't open it because they don't have the keys.
No,
That's kind of smart.
mine unscrewed without the key.
Oh, well then what's the key for?
There is a lock on the bottom. I don't know if that's like an on-off thing or what.
I don't know. What size batteries does it take?
I think you got the wrong size battery, Brandy.
I think it's the short, stubby ones.
I
Yeah.
told
Stubby ones.
I told Mr. Cajun what you said, Mama J, what you thought it was. He said it would be her to say that.
It
And
doesn't
that
say-
sucks. Is there any
Wait, mine
instructions?
unscrews in two different places.
Yeah, the top and the bottom.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of batteries it takes.
I don't know, but you know what I'm going to do with mine, and Mama J, what you should do with yours?
Huh.
I'm taking this bad boy to the farm, and I'm going to mess with the kitties.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, they have laser things, but I was thinking the same thing too. Maybe 2 AA's. What size batteries do you have?
These are AA's, but the 2 AA's don't fit in there. It sticks out the end. It's got to be those short, stubby batteries.
Oh, of course, the ones none of us get.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you'd have to go to like, and there's no instructions.
I know, so I don't know what size batteries to get.
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell the lock thing is for on the bottom.
I know.
It moves the little silver thing open, but then that's it. I don't know what it does after that. Because I put my key in and turned, but it don't do nothing.
Well, you know what my dumbass just did is I turned it to the green because there's green and red. So I'm
mine
assuming you
opens
could
in
probably
3
lock it
places.
off and on. Maybe like it won't actually turn on unless it's on the green. I don't know. But
Look,
in
it
any case,
also opens right in the middle.
it does?
Yeah.
At the top, in the middle, and at the bottom.
Oh no, it opens 3 places.
Yeah. So
What
I'm
is-
wondering, can you like eliminate a piece, make it smaller?
Okay, guys, I
Oh,
just typed
let's
it
try
into
that.
YouTube. I
Maybe
just typed it into
maybe a
Google.
double A will work in it then.
This is
Yeah.
a green laser corner, so it'll do green or red, maybe. Maybe that's it.
Oh, maybe. See, look
No.
at like here. I took a whole battery spot out. Is that even possible?
No, yeah, it still doesn't fit.
And is that the one at the top?
There's an 8-minute YouTube video on how to work this damn thing.
I don't know. There's all kinds. Look, I have this piece.
But you know we're all gonna watch it.
Well, yeah, we got to know what kind of
how it
battery
works.
to get.
I just want to know what kind of
Yeah.
batteries I need to get.
He's using a double A.
See, that's what I thought.
One,
think.
because one doesn't fit in here. One is too short. I mean, I'll try it again.
I think that's a double A. I don't have the sound on.
No, listen.
Do have a double? Is this a double?
Wow, y'all just are all looking down and just missed what I just did.
We did.
I went like this.
Thank you for an extra demonstration.
Oh, these are triple A's.
Well, the double A's in here and it's got a gap.
Yeah, we all have gaps. I mean, you know. I don't know.
It seems
still-
really wide too for a battery like that.
I still want to know what the keys are for. That's weird.
Okay,
But
now
But
the-
the key turns like they say if you look, it has a red dot and a green dot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to switch the colors. So it
Oh,
will shoot
okay.
green or red.
Yeah.
Okay. So the top part right here opens too, and it looks like a battery could fit in there, but that's a small.
Oh no, I think that's just to hold the light bulb
Oh, maybe so.
because the light bulb's on the other side.
All right, now
Yeah.
here's one good thing though with these. Like we all paid like what, $6 for these.
yeah.
Yeah, something I don't know.
So I typed it in, and when I was looking for the video, the first thing where you can buy it, depending on what size you want, it's either $24 to $70.
Wow.
So I don't
Well,
know who would pay $25 for this.
It's
the
on
website?
Temu for $10.83.
Ah.
Well, it's
But-
either way. It's like
Did you notice that this part turns too? Like the very
Yeah,
tip of
I
it
think it probably makes the laser like sharper.
bigger. Yeah.
There's also one. It's not the same
Oh, it does
for
change.
$6.42. The closest one I can find to the one that we got. That one's chargeable, so that's not it.
I wish it was chargeable.
No shit. Then we wouldn't be looking for batteries.
That's crazy. I'm like, I wanted a box. Like, if it says mystery box, I want a box.
Yeah,
I didn't get-
but Temu doesn't really ship in boxes. But I was at least hoping that all of us would get something different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd have been funny too, though, if we'd all got something different.
Is Trent still here?
I don't know.
I think it's just Kenneth and Johnny.
Oh, what the
I
hell?
think Trent just came in for like to say hey.
Oh.
Because Poppin, Missouri and Milky are live too, so
Okay.
Yeah. So is somebody else was live also, I think.
These things use 3.7 volt batteries. What the fuck is that?
3.7 volt.
I just typed in what does it use, and that's what came up on Amazon.
3.7 volts.
Yeah. I never heard of it.
Well,
They
guess
are
how
the
much the
short
damn battery.
stubby ones.
Guess how much the battery is.
Probably $50.
2-pack is $10.89.
Well, here's a 2-pack on eBay for $7, which probably, oh no, free shipping.
You can get
Here's a
10 of them
8-pack.
on Temu for $4.79.
There's an 8-pack that are rechargeable on AliExpress, but I'm afraid to buy batteries on something like that.
Hi,
Yeah,
Quickie.
for real.
So, hey, quick. So, whoever wants to order
Hey,
the
quick.
10-pack for $4, and then we'll all pitch in $1 to cover
Yeah.
the battery.
Oh my God! Tell me how cheap we are without telling me how cheap we are. It
Well,
costs us more to ship it to each other.
So I
that's
ordered one more. I got one more thing that's coming, and I'm hoping that and I'm gonna do it as like a sped up video. But I bought the Iron Giant Lego kit.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's cool.
That's
So
going to
we'll
be
see-
awesome.
We'll see
Well, you
if
know
that's
what's
crap
funny
or
is
not.
I bought for the swap, and I bought it on Amazon. I bought that trailer or RV
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah.
Breaking Bad, and then I don't know who it was. Kept saying it was on Temu, and that's where I bought it. So I went and I checked, and it is on Temu, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What?" And I was like, "This is the same item," and I think it was Big Easy that told me, yeah, they sell Temu items on Amazon.
Yeah.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
But you can find good Lego items off of Temu. Brandy's isn't that where you got your DeLorean?
Yeah, that's like a $300 Lego set, and I paid $34 for it. And the booklet was almost like a direct photocopy of Lego. Now, since that has happened, prices of those sets have gone up on Temu, and 2, you're less likely, because I was gonna buy the Ghostbusters Firehouse
Mm.
because it's about $60 on there, where it's a couple $100. But this dude is super cute, and these are the mini Legos. And
Oh, I
these
seen that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
are 3D Stitch.
Yeah.
I bought Christina that Donald Duck one off Temu.
But this one is one I kept it in my cart, but it'll probably go. But it's the full size barge from Return of the Jedi.
Oh, wow.
Jabba the Hutt's barge, and that thing's like 2 feet long.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a lot of space.
But you see the price where 135. Where if you go to buy it in the Lego store, it's hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
And I really, 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 really want this one. Hang on, there's a video somewhere.
Well, I have Legos to put together that I've had that I pick up at Five Below because I think they look cool.
Yeah.
So this is Falling Waters. Frank Lloyd Wright. It's one of the houses he built. So this one,
Dude, that is big.
the river
Right.
runs
Yeah.
through it. It's not huge. I mean, it's maybe 18 inches by 12 inches or something like not a huge set. But
Hey,
I've always
Jenny.
wanted to go to that house.
You want to join us? You can click
Jenny,
the
you
link.
can come on with us.
Hey!
Click the link and come on. I have 2 little.
We already
Lego.
opened everything.
Jenny, it was PG.
I have 2 of these. I've been holding off to put together.
I was
have,
just pulling up. I got this one at Five Below only because I thought it was really cool because it looked like a lava lamp.
Oh yeah, that is
Yeah.
cool.
That is awesome.
This one is Aurora, and then I
Lego.
have a Moana
Moana?
one.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I can't wait. Every time I get a Lego set, I have to put it together.
I love to watch people put them together in the finished product. I don't like to put them together.
I
Oh,
love
I
it.
like to put them
I love putting them
together.
together.
Mom,
I
Jen,
did-
have you seen the new record player one?
I'm sorry?
Have you seen the new record player set?
From who? Lego?
Yeah.
No, I haven't because
It's new for this year. It's one of the 3-in-1s. I forget
Oh,
what
Oh,
the
no, it's a record
'Cause I
player,
did
a TV, and something else.
at
Oh,
Five
that's
Below. It's a little tiny mini record player.
Did you ever see the one at Five Below that was a guitar?
Yes, I
Yeah,
saw
I
it.
have the box. I haven't put it together
Yeah.
yet.
I got it for Trey, and he put it together. It's pretty cool.
This one
Oh,
here
my
is the one that's coming in the balls. Those they're just like the mini brands, but they're the Legos coming in the balls.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
there's different ones. There's
Yeah, I
have
got
one
one of those
sealed
for one of my
somewhere, but I think
videos.
it's in the other room.
I
But
saw
there's
one
like,
in Hobby Lobby today, but I wasn't sure what it was.
but the best part is that, and I don't think I've dropped the video, but the actual ball has the picture of which one is in there.
Oh, okay.
So you'll know which one you get because there's like 6 or 7 different things. And I wanted the radio, and then I have one other one. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's really cool. You get like a little like arcade game, like a little like
there's an arcade and,
cabinet game, and like a retro TV and computer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff in that set.
I just wanted the radio, the boom box, and
I also have 3 of these that I need to put together, and I haven't.
I still have 2 of the Beetlejuice ones that I've never opened. I don't even want to open it.
That's what I have. I have 2
Yeah,
of them.
I don't even want to open them and deal with them.
And then I have one that's like donuts or I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
There's the record player one.
Because I have the guitar. It's just over there.
Hi, Marlene.
Hi,
Marlene.
So, Mom got me some, and the ones that we need to get this group with the other couple of goofballs is they have cocktail ones.
Yes, I've seen those. Yes.
Yeah, those are cute.
So my mom got me some for my birthday, and I ended up getting the one that I really, 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 really wanted because my alcohol of choice is tequila. And I got the golden octopus that has 4 tequila shot glasses, and you put the little limes on it and everything. That was like the one I wanted. But I also got the margarita one. So I got the 2 tequila ones out of the balls that she got me. But have you guys seen?
Cool.
Well, I have 2 Harry Potter Honeydukes, which is the candies from Harry Potter. I have 2 of those to do, and then I have the new ones where it's all mixed. So like the cake and stuff doesn't come as a plastic piece. You actually mix up like the brownie mix or the cake mix, and that's resin as well. They're making from scratch is what they're called. So I have one of those. I got a duplicate, so I gave the other one to the kids. But mom did a couple too. Like when I was over at her house, I'd go over there and have dinner and stuff.
I want you though to see the difference. This is the one I got in the ball. Okay, this is the MTV one that they sold. Look at the difference.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
But this one was the MTV one was only like $5. This one actually I think costs more. I think this one was closer to 10.
Mom, they're putting Legos out in balls. Like there's mystery balls.
This came in a ball. This is a Lego set that came in a ball.
They're not mystery. They're not mystery. They're just like in capsules.
Yeah, because they say on the ball what it is. I didn't realize it first. Yeah.
So question: when you do the resin and you have to put a UV light over it, can you use this like the black light flashlight?
So the interesting thing was my mom got me some of the MasterChef ones. Those worked on the MasterChef plates and stuff that we did. But when I tried to do the cocktail ones, that UV light would not set that resin. You have, but the lights that we got to do the resin keychains and stuff that we did that one night, that little one that looks like for fingernails or whatever, that one works on those.
That's the one I usually use.
The flashlight.
Yeah, I usually have that little white one. I know she's like,
Mom, we got laser pointers.
That's my Abominable Toys flashlight that I got from Chap in one of my swap boxes.
Man, I was okay, Caitlin, what's the secret to glow in the dark paint?
No.
Many layers.
What are you talking about? Yeah, you have to put a few layers on them.
Oh my god, I've put so many layers and I don't like the way it doesn't glow evenly.
Oh yeah, that's an issue. What color are you trying to get to glow too? Because that's
multiple colors, mainly white.
Yeah.
Mainly like Mickey's face, the front of the bottle, the skull eyes, all the way around.
Yeah, I found it got brighter the more
Oh,
layers.
that's cool.
That is really
That
cool.
looks good. I like that.
This actually started out as this,
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
but I hated this thing. I thought it was the ugliest thing I ever got in one of these, and I don't even remember it from Toy Story. So I just changed it completely.
That is cool.
I want to send it to Dave, but I want the glow to be better.
That's awesome.
I only use glow anymore if it's like super like concentrated. If I just need like a dot of it, you know, like filling in like a skull's eyes or something like that. That's
Yeah,
really
it just,
only how
I
use
guess
it
I
for.
just was expecting more than I'm getting, so I don't know.
No, that's really cool. And you've gotten like it's
See,
amazing to
this
watch
is
the
how it looks.
progression.
Can you see that? How it's uneven?
Yeah.
Not, I mean, not. I mean,
It's noticeable in person, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I put like 4 or 5 layers of the glow paint on, and then it usually evens itself out.
All right. Well, I may try put more on then and see.
You're going to use this on the baby. Is that what you just put in chat?
I was joking because my mom said it's not good for cats, and I'm like, okay.
My cats have laser printers. Laser. It's actually
Laser
on
printers.
their toy.
Yeah, she said it's not good for cats, and I
I've
said, well,
heard
then can I
that,
use
like-
it to make Kendall chase it around on the floor?
No.
I've heard that like if cats
This
get
is
low
one of the cat
self-esteem or
toys.
some shit from it.
It actually has these balls right here for if they want to play with their balls, and then it has comes with different feathers. I've multiply had to replace them because we like to see how mad we can tear them up around the house. And then I'm not going to turn it on because it's really loud, this one, but these holes down here, there's little feathers in them and they shoot out randomly in different spots. So they have to try to catch them. And then besides that, it lights up and spins, and there's the laser pointer right there that spins, and they have to catch it, or they can play with the feather.
wow.
Well, that's cool.
So,
That would drive those two nuts. But Butters needs some more exercise because even though she can no longer
Minor
ever
house
have
cats,
kittens,
they don't go
it's
outside. This is how they get their exercise.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's see, the thing is, they say that especially like with the laser pointers with the cats, is because people will use them randomly and the cats get really wigged out about them. But if it's something that they have freely all the time, half the time they'll like I left it on, one came over, the other two are just ignoring it. They could care less.
Yeah.
My dad
Hey,
says be nice to his cats because I called Butters fat.
And this is the backup one. When the battery dies on that one and we forget to charge it, we have this one. This one only has the laser pointer and the little leftover feather, and it just spins.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Hey,
So what else is like? We literally have not done a live. I don't know even the last time we did a live together. So what's everybody been up to?
I don't
Making
even.
videos.
Well,
Not
yeah, you
feeling
make
like-
videos. Like
Not feeling like I want to edit them.
that's what I do in the morning is watch Mama J's video because it always comes on like early enough in the morning that I can watch it before I leave.
I
for
have
work.
it set early because I know that, that way it works in the morning, and then I have the afternoon short. But I'm not dropping a full video every day right now. I said I wasn't going to do it last month, but I still did it. This month I'm not doing it.
I like the way that you do them in the morning because I usually watch them before I go to work. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Simpson one just ended, so now we're going to build a deck, and on that'll be the next thing that I do. That's a series. So
Those Treehouse of Terror things are cool though.
yeah, they were cool. But see, I like to open that stuff, but I don't keep it. I also have, you probably see it back here. I also have this, which I need to open because I want to try to get, but I know it's the rare one. But I want the guitar one to go with my Gene Simmons looking one that's up there. So
Yeah.
I said, what the heck? I'll just buy the whole box, open it up, give the rest to the Patreons, and hopefully I'll get the one I want.
yeah.
Or I may even keep a few and customize them since that's what I do now.
Well, I'm sorry your dad's not doing good.
Yeah.
Took me a bit to
Who's
get him.
that?
Umpty.
Oh, sorry.
He said, He said he's had a rough night, but he finally made it. It popped up on his list earlier, but he had a rough night with his dad. It took him a bit to get him back to bed.
Yeah, it's hard, you know.
Well, as you can see, my mom and dad are not in bed.
Let's see what time. Well, it's 6:36 here, so my parents are not in bed.
I think for the
Mine's
last,
probably about to be in bed.
They're
I
probably watching a rerun of Survivor or Amazing Race and acting like they've never seen it before because it's been so long. And then, you know.
but see, and the funny thing is, my husband's in bed. All of your parents are still awake, but my husband's in bed. I bet you my mama's watching her shows on TV too. So, yeah. He has to get up early though. He has to go to work tomorrow.
Did you see what my mom said? They're watching Reels live. My parents are addicted to those live cop shows.
Oh, I like those too. I watch
Yeah,
those.
Go out to Lieutenant so-and-so Espinoza,
And
who
now
is
I'm
over
watching-
a woman who has wearing no clothes.
Right now I'm watching what is it? Stupid Women of the World, but I think that they actually call it I committed murder for my man. You know, so I think that's the name of it. But in my opinion, it's like Stupid Women of the World. You did that for a man. You know, and now your ass is in jail, you dumb shit.
Yeah.
We recently got Paramount Plus, so I've just been binge watching Criminal Minds, the good seasons of it.
Yeah, that's what we started Criminal Minds from the beginning.
Oh, I love Criminal
Way back.
Minds.
So we're like almost caught up to the newer seasons.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I think Criminal Minds had been on for 6 or 7 seasons already. I don't remember exactly, but I remember I was flipping channels one day looking for something to watch. And remember the Aaron Hodge, the guy that played Aaron Hodge?
Yeah.
Okay. He actually was Greg on Dharma and Greg. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was flipping channels and I went, oh, hey, that's Greg from Dharma and Greg. And it was the episode where him and that other lady's SUV blew up and everybody's trying to find him and they're keeping everybody away. And there's that one guy, but he's the one who blew up the SUV. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And I came across that episode. And so I started watching it. And I'm like, wow, this is really good. What is this? And I went, oh, it's Criminal Minds. Now, mind you, I think actually I seen that, but I think there was probably like 7 or 8 seasons. And I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this. Well, back then I had one of those things from your cable company where you pick the show and it'll tape whenever it's on, you know?
Oh, yeah, DVR.
Yeah, a DVR, yeah. And I put Criminal Minds and I went to work and I came home that day and my DVR was full. And I had episodes all out of order from all different channels. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, Terrell started watching it and then he's
Obviously,
like,
Brandy doesn't watch Criminal Minds.
well, Terrell started watching it and then he saw an episode and he's like, well, that doesn't look like the one I watched. Well, he was on totally different seasons. So then we started watching it. I think we're up to season 14.
When I realized how many there were, I said, okay, I'm going to watch them in order. And I did. I started just watching them in order.
Fun fact. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
Fun fact, on my last trip from my work trip, I had ended up having a layover from Seattle to Detroit and then from Detroit to New Orleans. Dr. Spencer Reed was on my flight from Detroit to New Orleans. I was like,
was your layover?
oh, an hour, maybe an hour, 40, maybe an hour and a half. It wasn't long.
I was like, darn it, I would have driven down and just given you a hug and sent you back in through
Well,
security.
I put it in the chat, but you've been ignoring everything I've been
No,
saying.
I think Brandy's just been working a lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
But yeah, when I walked on the plane, he was in first class. I was like,
Oh my God, I would have been like, what, dude? You are like, I mean, because
I
Criminal
was
Minds
trying
is
to
one of my
move so
favorite TV
street,
shows.
though. I didn't
Yeah.
want to put him on Front Street, so I was just like, oh my God.
You know what? I've done that. I met, we were at I don't know how many of you know who this is, but we were at a Dwight Yoakam concert. Okay.
Yep.
And he's a country singer. And we went and seen him, and it was kind of like a dinner and show kind of concert.
Mhm.
So we were sitting, and all of a sudden I'm looking over at this guy like 2 tables over because they set you in long tables, right? And I'm like, why does he look familiar? And I looked at, I said, Mom, look at that guy. Is that Scott Bakula? And she looked and she said, oh yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh my God. Because Quantum Leap is one of my favorite old TV shows.
Yeah.
I just loved Quantum Leap.
I used to watch
And I'm
that.
like, I'm not going to bother him. We're watching a concert. We're eating, we were eating dinner and then we were going to watch the concert. And I said, I'm not going to bother him. And then the show ended. And I'm like, if I let him walk out of here and I don't say something to him, I'm going to regret it. Because I usually try to say something to everybody I've ever met, even if it's not big. And I'm like, if I don't do this, I will regret it. So I just walked up to him and I said, hey, dude, I just want to tell you, Quantum Leap was one of my I mean, he was in something else, after that was big, but it was Quantum Leap for me with him.
Well, I was so excited. I was like, I'm going to tell Terrell. He's going to be so excited, blah, blah, blah. Before I could even get it out, he's like, I saw that guy from Criminal Minds and I got to talk to him. And I'm like, he followed him down the escalator, talking to him. And I'm like, dang it. I was so mad.
That's funny.
The thing I remember about Dwight Yoakam the most is how tight his jeans were. That man showed everything.
A lot of that, even Alan Jackson did. A lot of them country boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Luke Bryan, he loves to wear them tight jeans. If he bends over, they're gonna rip.
But it's okay. I like looking at Luke Bryan.
I know it's like no, it's not shake that. It's like Luke, shake that thing for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Luke.
Yeah, I know he is back on tour because my mom said, depending on what's going on, she's kind of throwing back and forth because she really wants to go see Keith Urban, but she's still dealing with the fractured wrist. Plus, she just had her second eye surgery this week for the cataracts, so she's done both eyes now. So now she has to go in because she paid for the ones to do something else. But then I guess they have to go in and have them adjusted. So she has to go in and have them adjusted. And I don't know if that's just because she got the more expensive ones or if the regular ones do that too. I'm not sure. But these are like supposed to, I don't know. They're supposed to just be way better. So we'll see. Because when I went to the eye doctor yesterday, he said, I have the start of cataracts.
Oh. So you know what classic show I've gone back to watching? So I just listened to Tom Selleck's book. So it was really interesting to hear about how Magnum PI came about and him talk about certain episodes. So I'd never seen the first episodes of it.
I don't think I've ever watched all of them either.
I love Magnum.
But I didn't realize that there was a different theme song for the first 2 or 3 episodes. And then it went to the one that everybody knows.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
They
what?
all
It's
hated
funny
that.
when you watch the beginning of certain shows and then you watch later because you're like, whoa. Because even like on, for example, Roseanne, okay? Remember Darlene's boyfriend, the kid with the curly hair? What was his name? David. Okay.
Yeah.
When he first started, that was not his name.
Yeah, his name was like Kevin or something.
Yeah, his name was Kevin. For
I
like
didn't know that.
1 or 2 episodes. And then all of a sudden his name was David. And you're like, what?
Oh,
gotta
we're
wonder
sorry,
why
but
make
Kevin
a
didn't
change
test well. Rather than kick you off the show, we're just going to change your name to
That's
David.
what they did, right? I mean, like he was on 1 or 2 episodes, and then all of a sudden he was David instead of Kevin.
Yeah.
Brandy, I have some bragging news for you.
What?
At the end of May, we're going to the Dallas Fan Expo, and we're going to get to see the whole main cast of Back to the Future.
Wow.
We're going to get to see Michael J. Fox, Chris Lloyd, Biff Tannen, Tom Wilson, and Leah Thompson.
Wow.
Now I am jealous.
Uh-huh.
I'm jealous.
When I saw it the other day, I told Terrell, you're going to want to go to this. I said, it's an opportunity of a lifetime.
Yeah, but do you know how much those autographs are?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how much Jeremy Renners are going for at Motor City Comic Con?
Yeah, but look at like Michael J. Fox. I'm pretty sure his autograph is quite expensive.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure.
they start at $300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the doctor's name, Brandy? The actor?
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah. He was at the Little Rock Comic Con 2 years ago when I went, and I was gonna get the autograph for Brandy, But then I saw how much it was. I'm like, I love brandy, but not that much.
Yeah,
Right.
it was like $200-$300 at least.
Yep. Yep. So
Jeremy Renner, photo ops are 140, standard autograph is 150, premium autograph, small figures and Funko Pops are 175, bulky autographs, prints, lake figures, and props 200. For Jeremy Renner, you are Hawkeye. You are not the Hulk. You are not Iron Man.
yeah.
Oh no, I went on that. You know that thing where you can pay them to make a little video for you. What's that called?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
can't
forgot.
remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
So I went on to kind of see who was on there and how much things cost, and and I was like, gee, I wonder how much these cost, because I thought I'll pick out a couple of people I like and I'll have them say something like for an opening of a video or something, right? But then I got on, and anybody that I liked, I'm like, I'm not going to pay them to talk for 30 friggin' seconds. That much money. And then I looked at the no names, because there's like we could go on there and put our names on there and charge like $10.
Yeah.
I was laughing because there are people on there that are nobodies charging like $10.
I did do it for that. Who is the comedians that used to be together? Oh gosh,
Foxworthy and all of them.
No, the ones that they would do pranks, Impractical Jokers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did pay a little high for a video for him to do an intro for my YouTube channel, and I got a selfie with him. I paid about $100.
But you don't you don't use that one anymore, right?
Oh, it's still up there. It's like when you first go to my YouTube channel, it's there.
Okay.
But and I got some selfies with him and stuff, so it was worth it at the time for me.
I'll be honest, to this day, I have never went anywhere and paid that person to sign anything for me. Like when I went and I seen Alice Cooper inside the box of CDs that I had, you didn't have to have, that was what he was there for. They were like, I have a guitar book, a music book by Alice that's from like the early 70s that I took when we did that. And the guy I was dating at the time, I made him get the book signed and I got the CD signed, right? And because you were only allowed to get one thing per person. That was the catch. But you didn't pay for it. You didn't pay.
Back when I was a kid, you didn't pay.
We were at Tower Records. In Hollywood, we stood there. We got the audit. Same thing with like Rick Springfield. I've never had to pay, and they're like, okay, well, he's doing his book signing. But if you bring other things, they'll sign them.
Well, I mean, even back in the day when they started charging, it was only like $10-$20. Now it's ridiculous.
I know, and I have such a hard time now. I have done like for Spectre, where they've done the mystery autograph anime pops, something like that. But I've never went and paid specifically for somebody's autograph,
So I personally think that the Motor City Comic Con should be considered one of the better cons, and they keep getting better and better and bigger names. So this is the lineup for May. They go twice a year. Lineup for May so far is Bill Nye, Laura Prepon from Orange is the New Black and that 70s show, Jeremy Renner, Rainn Wilson, Sean Astin, Caitlin Barr, some anime, Chris Bartlett, he did C-3PO, he played the bad guy, he's in the suit for Aquaman, Mantis, and a couple other characters.
That's the one that Nick did the costume for, remember?
John Bernthal, he played the Punisher.
Yeah.
On the TV show. The Hardy Boys, Steve Burns from Blue's Clues.
It's the new Hardy Boys.
Steve Cardenas, the Red Ranger.
I have his autograph, yeah.
Josh De La Cruz, have no idea. Vincent D'Onofrio, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Famke Janssen. Angela Kinsley from The Office, Sam Marin, don't know who he is. Anson Mount, he looks familiar, don't know who he is. Donovan Patton, he looks familiar too.
He does. He actually looks like Brian Austin Green around the eyes.
There's a lot of people that go into that, huh?
Christina Ricci,
I keep waiting for her to say Cooper.
Wednesday.
William Sellers, Nazi Tarsha. This guy is Sam Witwer. I know I've seen him in movies, but I was like, hey. How you doing?
I was like, hey, too.
You're a little young, but
Come on, Caitlin. You could be like, hey.
Yeah, I'm good.
Umpty said, I would rather meet you all than I would anyone but one.
I thought it was awesome to get to meet.
Who's the one celebrity? Who outranks us? I got you know I got that Megazord that's signed by a bunch of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Like that thing alone, I probably have about $1,500 put
Wow.
into it for just autographs alone.
Well,
but
see,
it's a one of a kind thing. I mean, Caitlin, I'm sure there's other people that have also gotten a lot of them, but you know, the signatures are all unique for you, for you and everything. I mean, that's something that's irreplaceable,
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be honest, it's funny because I know it's fake. But the Wonder Woman pop that I got from Chap, because he, none of us knew it was fake at the time.
Yeah.
I still have that same pop sitting up.
Yeah.
I don't even look at the autograph. I just always think, okay, Chap gave me that pop. I don't even pay attention to the autograph. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I met a couple of wrestlers like back in the day, because when I was growing up, I'd go to my great aunt's house and she always was real big into wrestling. So I have met Jake the Snake and Sting. Like Sting was my all-time favorite wrestler. So, I have paid for a couple of autographs, but it was something that meant something to me.
You know what? If I truly had something that I really wanted autographed by somebody and I had the opportunity, it's a possibility. Now, I don't want to do like, how, what is it? The Dark Parlor or whatever they're called, the one that does all those autographs and you mail in for them or you send your stuff in. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to get an autograph and you're going to want me to pay for it, I want to meet the person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to mail it in. So that's my whole thing. That's why I didn't do the Ozzy one because number one, I got Ozzy's autograph on a ticket stub somewhere. I just would have to find it. Sure, it's in one of my old crates that storage totes up in the attic of my parents' house. But I would never send anything in because first of all, the only thing that I have right now that I think would be cool if Ozzy signed it would be the pop that James gave me.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because that would be just perfect. But I would never mail that box in. I would never mail that pop in. I would never do that.
Yeah.
That would have to be a hands-on only. Here I am, Ozzy, in front of you.
Yeah.
Excuse me while I drool, but can you sign this pop for me?
Poor baby. He's in such bad health.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
Like I said, because I have his autograph, but I didn't really get to. I mean, I met him, but I don't look at it as a meet kind of thing. It was kind of one of those things where he signed and he just, everybody's holding something for him to sign, But yeah, I feel really bad, He's supposed to do that one. He's supposed to do one more show in England with Black Sabbath, and I think it's in June or July.
Wow.
So, but I don't know that he's going to be able to do that.
Yeah, I thought he was wheelchair bound.
Basically, he can stand. He just can't move like he used to. But I mean, think about it. I don't know if you watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions, but he sat in a throne. He was one of the only people there that received an award that did not perform because he couldn't.
Wow.
He did scream "all aboard," and then Jack Black sang the Ozzy song.
Yeah.
Now, something was going on because we were supposed to have Stevie Nicks and Billy Joel, and Billy Joel's having some sort of a medical issue, I believe, and
Really?
they postponed that. Night, Mom.
Bye,
Night.
I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they postponed it.
These
Now it's going to
guys
be in
are
like
all getting
November.
older, it's. I mean, Listen, the world's about to start to crumble because I know for a fact that the age of some of my favorite rock stars are hitting that mark. And I am going to be devastated. When we lose Cooper, when we lose Ozzy Osbourne, when we lose Bon Jovi, I'm going to be devastated. When we lost Alec John Such from Bon Jovi a year or two ago, even though he left the band many, many years ago, and even though he was never one of the most popular guys, that was always one of my favorite bands. So it was very devastating to see that he had passed away,
Yeah.
Speaking of music, this is like so freaking cool that you sent out, Mama J.
Everybody got different ones.
It was devastating that we lost Bo. Oh my gosh. I just couldn't believe that. It was a routine surgery.
Yeah.
When I heard the news, like I know, like most people didn't even know the man's name, but when Carl passed away, Dolly's husband, like it hit me because I know, like, she's like what, 70
something,
72, something like that. Like it won't be much.
I thought she was 77. Maybe I'm trying to make
maybe it is. Maybe it is later 70s. I don't know. But like when she passes away, like I've never met the woman, but I'm gonna cry. Like, there's not many celebrities I'm gonna cry over.
Passed away. I remember, I was only 7 years old, and I remember how devastated my mother was, and I remember the tears that flew through her face. Her and her best friend. I remember her sitting on the porch with my aunt that just passed away not too long ago. They were both just crying. Everybody, that day was so devastating. The day that Elvis Presley passed away.
Yeah.
I just listened to that book too, the Lisa Marie Presley book that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you can read the book, it is so worth it to actually get the audio book because Riley Keough, Julia Roberts, and they actually have audio recordings of Lisa Marie. So it is very, very interesting. And if you don't like Julia Roberts, then that's fine. She's a very small part of it. Riley Keough does most of it. But to hear...
Why wouldn't I like Julia Roberts?
There's some people that don't.
Well, let me tell you, I love Julia Roberts. But the last video she made, she should have kept her damn mouth shut. Because she downgraded women in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's
And I know that's what it's from, because everybody's really upset that she almost took all of us women and threw us back about 50 years. You don't have to tell your husband. What?
It was that's just a very interesting book about her perspective, like on how that day went.
Really? Yeah. How old was she? She couldn't be that old.
8 or 10 or something like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
she was young.
Pretty close to my age.
And she was there. She was at Graceland when it happened. Yeah. And so her perspective, and then her perspective on how Priscilla handled it, and then the thing that I remember most about Lisa Marie Presley too, though, was Benjamin, her son.
Mm-hmm.
That boy looked like the spitting image of his grandfather.
To the T. Yes. To the T.
And then to hear about his death, and I did not realize it was suicide. I thought it was a drug overdose. I didn't realize that he had shot himself.
Yeah.
And then her having him in that back cabana of her home for several weeks because she couldn't let go.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the trauma, because right after Elvis died, then they opened Graceland and let all those people come through. And so she basically was saying in that book, she never really got a chance to really mourn that or deal with the situation.
Yeah.
Like a kid that age should.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Well,
it's crazy.
Any kid who's born into that lifestyle, like, it doesn't matter which way it goes. They're not going to have a normal childhood.
That's why I say most of these kids that you see, either kids celebrities, okay, a lot. I mean, look at poor Britney, okay. I mean, I know that people laugh or whatever, but I sit there and I just go, "Oh my God, Britney!" Poor Britney.
Same.
Okay, and she had it was awful for her, and like I said, some of them come from being a celebrity child, and some come from being children of celebrities. It
Yeah.
seems like all of these children of these celebrities all have one or some type of issue.
Yeah.
Well,
You know?
even
And not
people
to
like-
say like all celebrity parents are, you know, shit. It's just like that
No,
lifestyle
no.
just isn't normal for a kid, period.
You're dragging your kids around. I'm going to tell you, you know, the problem is they've got to let their kids still be kids.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they don't always get to do that. You know, I was so impressed when I was reading something, it's been a while, but Pink's husband was flying home because she was on tour, and he was taking Willow with him because Willow had a slumber party to go to, and they wanted her to be able to go and still have her normal childhood.
Mhm.
So he
Yeah.
took Willow, and Jameson stayed with Pink. But I mean, at least, you know, they're trying to do something. But it's hard when your parents are, you know, celebrities.
Yeah.
I think they're in public school too, both those kids. on
Probably,
Pixar.
probably
I
knowing
think
her.
she said that
probably.
once in one of Ellen's interviews with her. They're both in public school to just try to normalize it as much as
Yeah.
possible.
You know, but I mean, it's sad when you look at some of these kids and the way that, you know, things happen. And yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but what's her name? North?
Oh God, yeah.
Kanye's gonna ruin that child. I mean, she's already on the path of being, you know, destructive like he is.
Kim's
Yeah.
trying to prevent it, but he's
Problem is,
he is who he is.
doesn't even show Kim any respect most of the time.
Right.
She wants to be with her dad, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
look at the most recent ex-wife, wife. I don't even know. Are they back together? Or are
I
they
don't
not
know
back together?
because, you know, all of a sudden they're saying, I was watching, oh, they're getting a divorce, but then I'd watch a video where they were shopping together. I'm like, what? You
What
know?
that woman wears, whether it's him forcing her to or her feeling like she has to keep up with him, she degrades herself on a consistent basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say is so bad is he is saying that it's okay to disgrace women, and yet this is the man that, you know, his daughter is looking up to.
And the thing is, his wife is a very smart woman who has degrees.
Oh, I'm
That's
going to tell you
very
something.
well.
Family
And yeah,
is very well off. She doesn't need his money.
yep,
Her family is very well off.
yep.
So why she stays with him, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's again part of that stupid woman club. I mean, ain't no man that damn good.
No.
And when that fool come out with his little, he had that whole black net thing over his head so they couldn't see him and take his picture. I thought, dude, you're a loon. You're a friggin' loon.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's,
Umpty, you're right. There is video that was on TMZ of Kanye West having a conversation with Puff Daddy in prison, telling him to release new music, and him calling Puff Daddy sir.
yeah.
I'm like, you are obviously of the baby oil generation.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Hey,
That's crazy. They need to hang that fool too.
Well, he was just making Yay is what he's called, I think, whatever his name is, was just making
His name was
shirts
Yay.
with swastikas on it and sold a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then they finally shut the website down. But he
Yeah.
sold a lot of those shirts.
Right. I mean, how crazy is that?
It's sickening, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He-
that man, like I said,
he-
it's sad that his kids, it's sad that his daughter is idolizing him.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know.
but there's a lot of little girls that idolize their daddy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is one allegedly unstable human being.
You know, I mean, truthfully, I mean, yes, you know, and I know celebrities are out there. All of them are out there one way or another, okay? But when you have children, your behavior has to be different.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not saying that you've got to be, I mean, because even somebody said something once. I was watching, speaking of Pink again, watching an interview with Pink, and somebody said, oh, she was reading something, and they said, oh, we thought you performed much better back when you used to drink and perform. And she goes, I can't do that anymore. I have kids, and, you know, which is true. She had to grow up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yep. I have
But
to go.
there's some celebrities like I
Okay.
think Rob Lowe's kids boys are pretty normal, down to earth. But then there's people that stars you don't expect, like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson's son. The one kid is like a complete screw up. Chet,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's all kinds of screwed up. And
It's crazy.
well, how do we lose?
Well, she
Sassy?
said she had to go to the bathroom, but I think
Yeah.
I don't think she meant to go away. But either way, yeah. I mean, some of these people are just crazy. Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't know how to do it anymore where you just put your thing
Down
down.
at the bottom where it says stop cam and mute, because no one wants to hear you pee like we had to listen to that on Fox that one
Yes,
night.
go
You
ahead.
won't hear me because it's in my house and I'm in my studio.
Okay.
It's a totally different habitation.
Habitation?
She's living the opposite of like a old timey outhouse right now. She has to
Right?
I have to go
out of the
into
shed, go
pee and
inside.
out to do the video.
You could technically just open the door and squat.
No one would know. Oh,
Yeah, and I did that stupid. I'm not doing a video because I was like, damn, I didn't get one friggin' backpack. I bought
Yeah,
5 of those lounge fly things for what was it, $10 a piece?
yeah. What
And I
wallet
got
did you
another
get?
Doug notebook, and then I got a Barbie wallet. I said, oh, okay, well, this can go with the Barbie pin I got last time that I don't have to use. And then I got 3 more pins. Yeah,
it's an overstock dump. That's all it's
I
become.
know it is, but it's funny because some people got backpacks, some didn't. But I noticed there was a lot of pins this time. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Sassy before y'all joined backstage. The last Loungefly I got was the Green Ranger Loungefly backpack, and it was limited edition. I forget how many numbers, but it was $90. So it was over the normal retail value of a bag. But I wanted it, so I got it. And the zipper pull on it is made of rubber instead of metal. And like I have cheaper Loungefly bags where it's all metal hardware, and I was like, why the hell would you make a limited edition and put a rubber zipper pull? Like, I know it's a little bit petty, but still, I paid more for this. I expect good quality. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of pissed me off a little bit.
You'd be
But-
amazed how many people stop me around here with this one.
Oh,
I'm sure.
I bet, especially being around there.
The one
That's
I
a
get
cool
the most,
backpack. I mean, even the color's pretty. I like the color. You know?
Yeah. the one I get the most compliments on is my Halloween pumpkin Mickey one. Every time when I'm in October, when I'm wearing that one, every single time I go out, someone compliments me on it.
I don't keep them. I use them as giveaways or I give them away. You know, I don't know. I have probably 6 or 7 in there. I won't keep any of them.
The problem with peeing outside is one of the stray cats would come rub up on my leg and it would scare the shit out of me.
Well, you might pee on them if they rub on your leg while you're trying to pee.
You never know.
I had something that was going to come out of my mouth that
A little
would
freedom.
not
Gal.
be appropriate.
Freedom gal.
My parents, or my mom specifically, they did grow up in a house that had an outhouse to it. So when they were very young, they had to go out at night to the outhouse. And her cousins, the cousins that I call my Aunt Tina, she's technically my cousin, but I call her aunt. Her and her sister,
Hi, Freedom Gal.
whenever one of them had to use the restroom at night, instead of going out to the outhouse, they would just hang their butts out the window and go, and the other one would hang onto their arm so they didn't fall out the window. I'm like, I guess it works, sure.
When Terrell and them were building the house that his mom lives in now,
Yeah.
it started out with no bathroom, and they would have a bucket and they would use it in the bucket and then go dump it at the end of the property.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Yeah.
it. Like when we were doing like vacations and stuff as a kid and I would have to go, they would say like, okay, we're just going to pull over and you can just go in the ditch. Like, you know, a lot of people do. And I'm like, nope. Even as a little kid, I was like, nope, and I would always hold it. At 5, 6 years
Yeah,
old,
I don't
would
think I
always
ever
hold it.
peed on the side of the road either.
Oh, I have many times.
In
When
cornfields.
you gotta go.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
I've
there's
been
all
to
these
field
new
parties.
little gadgets for women so that you can pee standing up now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those
No.
little funnel looking things.
Yeah, that looks like a funnel for putting oil in your car, but it's got the long tube so you don't get it. Yeah, no, but here's the thing is I wasn't very good at it at first, and I peed on more than one pair of shoes.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
There's one comedian. Her name is Sarah Milligan, I think. She's British. And she said that she got one of those. And during a point in the show, she was asking her audience members, what's better about being a man or what's better about being a woman? And one of the guys shouted out, getting to piss through letter boxes. And she's like, I can do that now. I got the tools. So if I wanted to, I could do it.
Umpty said he has a friend who had a 3-seater outhouse.
Like, who sits in there? Like, what do you do? Get the Sunday newspaper and share the different sections? Like, you take the sports, I'll take the front page.
You take the comics. You read the comics from on Sunday mornings.
Like,
I am not peeing.
I don't know a person in the world that I'd want to just share the bathroom with.
I mean, I'd pee with my mom, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's not that much different than going in a public restroom, except are there actual separators in there, or are you just all sitting cheek to cheek?
Now the toilets are all in the middle, back to back, so your backs are to each other.
Have you seen that SNL one where it's the love toilet and they're sitting like this one's sitting this way and this one's sitting this way? They're like they are. You can like make out.
See, Freedom Gal said her husband pooped in someone's yard and blamed it on the dog.
Oh my
God.
Listen, as a retail manager, I had this guy yelling and screaming one time because we would have homeless behind our building, but we don't own the property. We were in a strip mall, you know, and he said that the homeless were they were doing something in their garage, and the homeless were yelling at them to shut up, and he told the homeless, "You shut up," and I guess they chugged some feces over the fence. And that's when the guy had called me and he says, "Yo, yeah." And I said, "Okay, but what do you want me to do? I don't control them. Call property management." He goes, "Well, you better control your homeless." I said, "They're not my homeless." Okay. And he goes, "Otherwise, I'm going to come there and I'm going to throw," what does that say?
No.
Oh.
Shit.
Wow. Wow.
It just popped up on my phone. That's why I went like that, because I was like, no way.
Wow.
Wow. But the guy tells me on the phone he's going to come over and he's going to throw feces at me and my employees. I told him, "I dare you." And then when I hung up, I told all the employees, "Stay away from the door." Then his wife brought him over and made him apologize to me.
Yeah, that's good. I tell you, talking about celebrities that died and crying.
God, that's sad. He just had that fight.
The one celebrity that I cried when they died was Paul Walker from the Fast and the Furious series.
Yeah, I cried over Jason David Frank, the Power Ranger, and I cried over Betty White. Those are the two that I cried over.
Yep.
I mean, I've cried over many celebrities, but I think the hardest one recently for me, which was really, really, really hard, was Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, losing Toby Keith was really hard for me.
He had gotten so skinny.
Well, because he had that pancreatic cancer, which is what my aunt died of also. But yeah, that was, I think recently that would be the hardest one for me.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think.
I mean, it's always sad when someone dies, but some just hit a little harder than others.
Yeah.
You know, Robin Williams hit me really hard.
That was
that
one.
Me too. Yep.
So
I still have. I watched something like a documentary of his the other day, and I still had like a pain because I knew he was gone, because he did so much great things, you know?
Yeah.
You know, another one that hit me really hard, and she wasn't even that big of a star, was Naya Rivera, about how she was in the water with her son. She managed to get her son back on the boat, and they couldn't find her for a couple of days because it's like the Glee show has lost what 3 or 4 of those kids.
Creepy.
You know, you lost the one to the overdose, Corey Monteith. Then you lost the kid that played Puck because he was into child porn or something, and he hung himself. And then you lost Naya Rivera in that lake because she couldn't get out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. You know, just like I watched a story about Natalie Wood, okay, which I hadn't watched. You know, I mean, we all know what happened and stuff. But the one guy she was with, he was really popular. I can't think of his name. He had his own show and everything. I don't care what anybody says. I think he killed her.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Where she
can't think of his name.
She
Robert
fell off the boat, the back of the boat or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I think he killed her.
Absolutely, he killed her.
And he got away with it because he went right back home and continued doing his TV show.
I don't know how I stumbled upon this guy. It's on YouTube, and I'll have to find you guys the name of the channel. I did actually subscribe to it. This gentleman goes out to celebrity grave sites, like Marilyn Monroe, and you know Hugh Hefner's right next to her and stuff. And he's got one of those ghost chat boxes like they use on the ghost shows. And the interesting one was he went to Nicole Simpson's, and then he went to Ron Goldman's. And Nicole Simpson wouldn't really talk to him, supposedly. I don't know how believable it is. I mean, it's very interesting to listen to the. You can hear the responses come through this box. And Ron Goldman, he went there too. And Ron Goldman, he got a lot more responses, like clear responses when he was asking questions. He also went to JonBenet Ramsey's. And the weird thing about that is she had a pinwheel next to her gravestone. And he's like, can you stop it for me? And I shit you not, within 5 seconds, that puppy would stop spinning. It was going like this, and it would go.
Well, you know what? I believe in ghosts. Some people don't, but I do.
I do.
I do.
Yeah, no. And I believe in vampires. I know some people don't, but I do.
Robert Wagner.
Yeah,
it's not Robert Urich. It's Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert Wagner. Okay, yeah.
Oh, I absolutely believe that OJ killed them both.
Oh, 100%.
You cannot make me believe any different.
That's another interesting book. Is If I'd Done It, the one that Ron Goldman's family stopped them, and Nicole Simpson's family stopped OJ from releasing to make money.
Yes, Freedom Gal.
That book and the detail that's in that book, that he like read all this stuff out, and there are portions of his audio tapes in there too. When I listened to the audiobook, there is no way in hell you can tell me that man didn't kill them.
Oh no, 100%.
I just watched. There's something new about it, and one of his friends, Nicole, went to his friend and said, he beats me, he does this. She showed him pictures, and the guy brushed it off, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. So yeah, she reached out to different people, and nobody did anything to help her.
Sometimes friends don't want to be involved, is the sad part.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I always tell people, and I tell people this all the time, no matter why a couple broke up, whether it's violence or something else, no matter what that person's saying about the person they just split with, don't say a word. Because when they get back together, they're going to hate you for everything you said.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, it's crazy, you know, but yeah, I 100% believe OJ committed those.
Now the friend that she went to knows, he's like 100% sure that OJ killed her. He feels horrible that he didn't do anything about it, but you know.
The other interesting one he went to as well was Matthew Perry.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That was an interesting one as well.
That was another like super like it wasn't a shocking death, but it was so fucking sad.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
extremely sad, and I was very shocked, and I was just, my mother was devastated.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Because-
shocking to me because I knew he had that problem in the past, but to
Yeah,
know now
but
that
it's
there
still,
was
it
people
was
like
just,
behind him
woo.
egging him on with the
Yeah.
abuse, it's just so freaking sad.
But he had just done a interview not long before that saying, yes, I have a problem, but I've been working on it and this and
Yeah.
I've been clean and you know,
Well, he
and then
released
to
that
turn
book.
around and hear everything that they did to him, it's ridiculous.
His book. I had just read his book before that happened. Listened to it, and he read the book, and talking about how like literally his colon exploded
Yeah.
from being on this stuff, and he
Yeah.
almost died. And then to know that then they did, they did the whole reunion thing where they were all back in set and everything, and
Yeah.
that was a really, I watched that when it was on. I wasn't a huge Friends person, like I didn't watch.
I've
it
only
every week,
watched
but-
Friends one time all the way through, and that was like probably a year or two ago.
I've never watched it.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I'm sorry.
Alyssa is a huge Friends. I mean, I can't tell you how many times she's watched the whole.
Oh, my parents too. My parents love Friends.
Yeah, my mom loves it. I just never watched it.
Yeah,
My mom's
no.
go-to at night before she goes to sleep is Everybody Loves Raymond.
You know what? That's funny.
Used
My
to
mother
be
either
mine.
puts on Everybody Loves Raymond or 2.5 Men or I Love Lucy to go to sleep to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I put on Antiques Roadshow. That for whatever reason, that music or the way that people talk in a monotone voice on there or whatever it is, I am out within 5 minutes of watching Antique. I love that show, but it puts me to sleep.
I liked both of them, Umpty. He liked Seinfeld over Friends, but I liked both.
I've never watched Seinfeld all the way through. I've never watched The Office.
Oh
Now I
man,
sound like Caitlin.
Seinfeld is so good.
I've seen episodes. I just never watched it all the way through. Like,
Yeah.
but The Office, I can honestly say I've never even seen one full episode of.
I
The Office.
tried
Me
to
neither.
watch The Office once, and I got about halfway through, and I turned it off. I
And
can't.
then my son keeps telling me to watch Parks and Recreation. I've never watched that either.
Alyssa told me too, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think.
You know, like my mom will say, "Oh, watch this. I watch this, and it's good," because we watch a lot of the same shows. But she doesn't like the murder shows that I watch, the documentaries and stuff.
Oh, I
And
love
then
that.
she watches some things like she loves the show Justified. Okay, I've seen like the first season, but I just never really got into it.
Yeah.
And but she likes that, and she likes some of these other shows, but like Desperate Housewives or Devious Maids or any of those. Me and my mother both have watched those multiple times.
And I've never seen either one of those.
Oh my God, they are
We-
some of the best TV there is.
We have 2 TVs upstairs, one in the living room and then one in my mom's room. My mom just pretty much exclusively watches her TV. Even if we're watching the same stuff, she'll still be back there watching the same thing that we're watching. But that's because 99% of the time, Dar and I are watching like freaking Ghost Adventures, Dead Files, and shit like that. And she cannot, she is freaked out of anything supernatural. Anything, even
I can't sleep to those kind of shows.
exactly,
I'm
me too.
so
but
obsessed with watching those. I can like binge that for like a whole weekend and not even move out of my room.
exactly.
Certain shows like those, and I hate it because I'll be like, okay, did I watch this one? And sometimes you'll see so many that the one you watched will be the same one you watched, but it'll be told different because it's on 2 different shows, but
Yeah.
it'll be the same story.
Yep.
I've had that happen a lot.
When did
Me
this start
too.
happening? So I just put that a link to that guy's channel in the chat. When did they start putting messages on here like it's 10:24? You might want to consider sending your
I
message
had that
later.
too. They're trying
Yeah,
to tell you to
that's
be polite
stupid.
to your people.
What?
I've had that happen to me before.
Yeah, me too.
I'm like
That's
literally
crazy.
one of
Yeah,
us,
you
one
won't
of
see it.
us
Only
just
tells the
posted
person that
that's
put
not
it
in
in.
here,
Doesn't
and the
tell
four
anyone else.
four more out of the 6 are on the screen.
That's funny.
Shannon Doherty and what she went through. I
Shannon
haven't heard.
Doherty was very tough to watch because I loved 90210, the original 90210. And even though I loved Kelly, I still loved Brenda with Dylan. Okay. And I've watched 90210, I don't know how many times.
Speaking of the cat, it's at the door meowing.
And yeah, so when she and you know what? Luke Perry was a little rough for me too. And Luke Perry, they, you know,
Oh, yeah.
I used to watch Riverdale because
Oh,
I
my
loved
kids
the show
love
Riverdale,
Riverdale.
and he was on there. Okay. Now they had already filmed the following season, but he had passed away. So I knew he was going to be on the next season, but I was unaware of how they were going to remove him from the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And I was devastated. I was pissed, and I have not watched any other episodes of Riverdale since. I said, you made me live through this man's death twice in a
Dang.
short period. I can't do this. I was devastated the first time. I said, nope. And I've never watched Riverdale again. I said, you made me live through this guy's death twice.
Is that still on?
Huh?
I don't
Is
think so.
Riverdale still on?
I don't know if it's still on now, but this was back when Luke passed away. And like I said, it was a great show, but it really fucked with me. Excuse my language. Sorry. When it knocked
I've already
him off.
said that word like 3 times since we've been live.
I know, but I try not to cuss on other. Who said that word 3 times?
The
Me?
kindergarten teacher
Hey.
librarian over here.
Sometimes I say them without realizing I've said them. So
What's funny is she looks so sweet and innocent, and then in our chat, she's like, "Ah!" If anybody actually knew how Caitlin was.
well, I laughed one time. James
They
said,
know.
I've never even heard Mama J say the word shit. And I'm like, well, obviously you're not paying attention, damn it.
Oh, yeah, because Mama J cusses like a sailor. What do you
I'm
mean?
telling you, you guys have no clue. My mother cusses like a sailor. I come by it honestly.
You would be at confession every day.
That's why I could never do that.
You know what's my favorite is my niece. You know, she's 10. One of my nieces is 10. And when she thinks it's really funny, like she wants to, like somebody said something, and then if she wants to say a swear word, she'll come over and she'll whisper it in my ear because she knows if she says it out loud, she'll get in trouble. She'll come over and she'll go,
That's cute.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, kids pick up everything, okay, and they know what they can and can't say. And for every parent, it says, "My child never cusses." Trust me, your child cusses when they're standing there with their friends and you're not around. Okay.
Well, that trend they had where they would let the kids go in the bathroom and just say every cuss word they could think of, that was hilarious.
You know, or like I like the one when there's a video going around, the mom's on the phone, the little girl's all, "Can I say a bad word? Can I say a bad word?" And she goes, "Yeah." And she turns around, she's all, "You fucking bitch." And she starts going on, and you hear the mom's like, "What?"
So Freedom Gal says, I'm friends with one of Luke Perry's ex-roommates, and she said he was nothing like his character on 90210.
Oh, I'm sure he probably wasn't. But one of my godsons is named after Luke Perry, but not after Luke Perry. His name is Dylan from 90210, but he's named after Luke's character. But I love, you know, like I said, I loved Luke Perry on 90210. I've watched him in other things, and yeah, Riverdale was just too much to do that to me in such a short period, you know.
Yeah.
So I held it personally, and I haven't went back since. You know. So
there was one trend going around. I don't know if you call it a trend, but there was one guy on TikTok who would go up to people randomly on the street and be like, "Whose fictional character, whose death did you never get over?" And I feel like a lot of those ones would be like connections to like real life deaths, you know?
right?
You know, the real guy died, and so they have to kill off the character. Like,
Yeah.
For me,
but a lot of people were saying like Mufasa and stuff.
For me, it was when Han Solo got killed and then Princess Leia, which did have to line up with Carrie Fisher's death, and then in the last one that they did, then Luke died. And those were the original 3 characters that got me into Star Wars. And so when they died at the end of those movies, that just was like heart-wrenching. But how Han Solo died?
I think sometimes they just I don't know. I you watch how they do certain things and it's mind-blowing, you know. But yeah, for me, Star Wars, I always say my favorite Star Wars are 4, 5, and 6. Hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
I've only watched the first original 6 one time.
That's
over,
4, 5, and 6, and then went 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of these spin-offs. It became too much to try to keep up with, and I'm like, I'm not that big of a sci-fi kind of person like this, and and all this space stuff. So I didn't keep watching as it went on. I did watch the Han Solo one, the one where it was just about him, and a few other things. But most of the time, I think I stopped on number 7 or something.
Well, I really enjoyed the Mandalorian, the series of Mandalorian. That one was really good. I liked it.
Brandy hated it. She absolutely
Is it over?
loathed the Mandalorian.
No, but instead of doing another season, they're now coming out with a full-length movie.
Oh, really?
Okay, but so what? There's no seasons. I mean, I didn't watch it anyways, but I would just think people would be upset that they're not getting a full season of Grogu.
No, because you're going to get 2 hours all in or whatever it's going to be in one sitting. But it's supposed to be.
So is that the
a much better developed storyline? Well,
oh, okay.
That'll be the conclusion to the Mandalorian then.
I don't know. I don't know where they're going to take that. That's kind of one of the reasons I want to go to Motor City Comic Con, because if they're going to do a panel with Bryce Dallas Howard and Vincent D'Onofrio, I don't know if it's going to be Bryce Dallas Howard, because she does directing of Mandalorian episodes and has been.
Yeah.
So I would actually like to ask her those questions, like where is that going to go? I'm supposed to tell you that you're a PETA, by the way.
Gee, I wonder who sent that.
Andor, I haven't watched that either. But yeah,
Andor was good.
Was it?
I haven't even watched it.
It's too much. It's too many. I just can't keep up,
Well, me and Trey had started watching from beginning to end, and it just got to where every time we would start watching him, he'd end up falling asleep. And then I'd be watching him by myself, trying to figure out what's going on. And because with him, he could help me figure things out and tell me.
Spectre will watch movies with me if I have to ask questions. He will not watch Pirates of the Caribbean with me because I struggle. I hate those movies. I know people love them. I don't know what they're saying.
You better be glad that cousin Aunt Molly is not here.
But I don't know what they're saying. And I'm like, what did they just say? And he'll be like, pause, Mom, seriously? And then he'll tell me. And then Johnny Depp will ramble something off again. And I'm like, what the hell is he saying?
Why don't you put the closed captions on? That's what they're there for. I don't think in the past 3 years I've watched anything on TV at Lisa's house that didn't have closed captioning on, because she can't understand anything.
I'm telling you, I know I'm partially deaf in one ear. Okay, I know that. It's from rock concerts. But yeah, there's some movies I just can't do, and Pirates of the Caribbean is one of them, and I know that people love it. And I love the Disney ride, but I can't understand what Johnny Depp is saying.
I've only watched those movies in history class.
He's just there to look at anyway.
Listen, I know some people out there are Johnny Depp fans, but I can tell you that I've been a Johnny Depp fan longer than most people. Most of you that are watching him now as Pirates of the Caribbean. I was a Johnny Depp fan when he was on Jump Street.
Oh, yeah.
I was a Johnny Depp fan when he played his little 10-second role in the Nightmare, whatever it is, the Freddy Krueger one. You know, I mean, I've been watching Johnny Depp forever. And 21 Jump Street is, I mean, that's where I really got him and Peter DeLuise. I loved Peter DeLuise.
Mhm.
I met Peter DeLuise, stood at a trucking event where they were doing these big semi-truck things, you know, redneck kind of thing out here in California. And I'm standing there and I'm talking to this guy standing next to me. And this was way before Spectre was born. And the guy goes, "Oh, I got to go. They're getting ready for me." And I was like, "What?" And I turned around and I really looked at him, and it was Peter DeLuise. And I had stood there and talked to him for about 10 minutes. Didn't know who he was because I didn't look at him.
Wow.
I was too busy watching the trucks.
Hmm. He was born in Owensboro, Kentucky, next town over. Still has an aunt and uncle there and visits occasionally. Yep.
That's what he looked like.
He
Little
was.
baby Johnny Depp.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's when I fell in love with Johnny Depp. Was 21 Jump Street.
You forget you're only 5 years older than me, so we have a lot of the same. We've seen a lot of the same and done.
I'm only 5 years older than you.
You're only 5 years older than me.
That's not. No. How old are you?
I'll be 50 this year.
Oh well, I'll be 55.
See, I know.
Wow.
I just turned 48.
You?
Shut it, Caitlin.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Baby. I know I look good for my age.
And I always
I
tell
know.
people I'm 75.
Oh, I have it too. I just hide it behind, I kind of flip it
I
over.
used to go and I just stopped. I don't care. I call the gray my character. My best friend is having a fit that every time we go there, I'm like, nope, just cut it. I don't want to highlight. I don't want to do nothing. Leave it.
Oh, I have it. It's just I have it hidden to where you really can't see it unless my hair is up in a ponytail. And then you see.
Oh no, but see, my hair's not real dark, but look at how big my forehead is, man.
See, I have the Morticia Adams thing going with the little white strips in my hair.
My sister-in-law literally is my hairdresser, and it's not like I can't have access to her, but I wait like 8-10 weeks to go back and get my roof done. And she's like, "You understand? I got to use like a whole tube of stuff on you because you wait so long."
Yep. My best friend, like I said, this will be 50 years of friendship this year, and my whole life I've only had 2 people ever cut my hair or touch my hair. Number 1 was my mother's best friend who did hair for a living. The whole time I was growing up, all of that. And then as I became an adult, that's what my best friend started doing. So only 2 people have ever cut my hair.
I started going to Great Clips just because it's cheaper. And at the beginning of this month, they had like $7 haircuts sale for the week.
I'll be 55 in July, so and I can't drive 55.
Yeah,
but
Caitlin?
I went and got my hair cut, and I got the back like super short, but I left the front a little bit long. And I got home, and I waited a few hours, and I looked in the mirror, and I was like, I fucking hate it. So I went back the next day, and it turns out I went to a different salon because I'm like, I don't want to go to the same place and do it. So I went to the one further in town to do it. And apparently if you tell them like it's a redo, it's free. So I still only paid $7 for it. So I just go to where it's cheap.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, Spectre thinks it's a waste of money to go pay somebody to cut his hair. He just lets it grow till it bothers him, and then he goes in the bathroom and he buzzes it because he has clippers, so he knows what length he wants it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you a funny story. The first time that he used them clippers, right? He was doing the back of his head himself, okay? And he was, and he sneezed.
Oh no!
And he's like, oh man, and he cut too low. So now he calls me to cut the back, but yeah, he sneezed and done chopped off almost all his hair.
That's funny.
So Umpy said, I finally got a hair clipper, beard trimmer, and head shaver, and I'm now almost bald. So I asked him, I said, can you clarify, did you shave your legs too?
But yeah, that's what Spectre does, because he used to, listen, he was okay going and getting his hair cut when mommy paid for it.
Oh,
but then when it was time for him to pay for it, and he's like, how much do you want to charge me? I could buy my own clippers for that price. And
Mm-hmm.
I would love to get my hair colored, like, and I've had it dyed like darker before,
You
but
have
I would
very
love to
hairy
get it like
legs.
bleached and dyed. But like, my hair is so thin, and I have a family history of hair loss. I just don't want to risk it. You know,
Are you still taking that medication to try
I
to?
take biotin. I take a biotin vitamin for it, and it's helped. Like when I was in middle school, like this part of my head, like up here, was just like completely bald, pretty much. And my hair's still super thin, and you can definitely see, like you can see in a lot of my videos when I turn my head, you can see my, my headline through
Yeah.
it, through my part. But yeah,
They have something called Nutrafol or
yeah,
Nutra
I've heard of it.
something that's supposed to help with hair.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if it's worth trying or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't have the. I think it was 7th grade. As a matter of fact, I didn't know it was 7th grade. I decided I was going to get my hair cut short, and I went, and my mom had her friend cut it, and they asked me like 6 times before they did it, and I wanted my hair cut. The next morning, I cried and wouldn't go to school.
Oh
So,
no.
I'm not going to school till this shit grows back. There's nothing cool about this haircut. It was done just the way it was. I didn't like it.
Let me tell you what happened to Trey, poor thing. Right before school, he decided he wanted to get his haircut. Well, he told him what he wanted. The lady took the clippers and did. Trey was like, he did not want to go to school. He started, I think, 6th or 7th grade, and he had no hair, and he was just like, I can't believe she did that to my hair. It was horrible.
It's traumatizing. I know people always say it grows back, but that traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah.
And to this day, even though it was something I wanted, I have a limit. Like, I mean, this last time I went and I had Mousy cut my hair, I let her go a little higher. She goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." And she goes, "Okay." She goes, "Because I know you." Because my thing is, I better be able to touch my hair when I put my hand behind my back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever go short again, because I think I was really traumatized in the
my great grandmother had hair like I do now, pretty much, like just like super short. And one of her daughters did as well. The other daughter is my aunt that I live with, Dar. Her hair comes down to her ass, and she will not get it cut. Like, I joke with her all the time about, like, because she keeps complaining about, like, whenever she sleeps, her hair, like, she has to put it in a ponytail or else it'll wrap around her neck while she's asleep. And I'm like, you could just cut it to a normal length. Like, still keep it long. And she's like, no.
That long she could cut it and donate it.
Yeah, but she will not do it.
I want to say probably about 10 years ago was our anniversary. I was going to go get my hair cut, and then we were going to go out to eat or whatever. Well, my hair, it looks like it's like here now, but it's really a lot longer. But at the time, it was like below my shoulders. So I told her, I said, I want my hair here. I want a bob. She says, okay. She cut it, I think, shorter than Caitlin's. And the whole time, Terrell's like, I didn't know you were going to cut it that short. I didn't think you were going to get it cut that short. And the whole time, I'm like, I did not want it this short. I walk out of there and I started bawling. I'm like, I did not want it that short. And the whole time he's yep the whole time, and it just making me more mad and sad at the same time. And I'm just like, I didn't want it like that. And it took forever to grow back.
Did y'all just?
I was devastated when I had to go to school. My mom didn't make me go that first day, but after that, she's like, "You gotta go to school."
Man,
did you guys just miss that she just belched right on camera?
Is that is that what she wanted to do? Is belch for us?
Apparently, because it's been a long time since she's been on camera. Notice she never actually looks at the. Well, you're looking more at the screen tonight, but I, honest to goodness, think that she's pretty much blind now. Or close
My
to
mom's
it.
cat is blind.
Definitely
it's so
deaf.
sad to watch him walk around the house.
No, she does pretty good. I mean, I think she
does pretty good, but sometimes he gets in a corner where he'll be like against the wall, and he's like, "Okay, I know there's a doorway right here,"
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a little old lady.
Freedom Gal said her husband could be Charlie Brown's twin. He shaves his head daily, she said.
Mama J's mom let her stay home with a bad haircut. I remember one time, I forget how old I was, but we went to a new dentist who gave me some shot or something. And when we left the dentist office, my lip started to swell up. Like, it went to like 3 times the size. And we went right back and he gave me something to reverse it. But when we were out and it started to swell up, I'm like, I'm not going to school tomorrow with this. And she's like, yeah, you are. Like, if it's still swelled up, you're still going.
That's funny because my mom kept me home to go see a movie once.
No, my mom would never.
We stayed home when Rick Springfield dropped Hard to Hold, and that's when movies used to hit theaters every Friday. And my mom let me stay home from school so we could go to the first showing of Hard to Hold.
I would just wake up and say, hey, Mom, I don't feel like going to school today. Okay, you can stay home.
Right before we moved from North Carolina, my mom drove us down to Myrtle Beach one last time just so that we could go play in the ocean because we were moving up to Ohio. And that was an awesome experience. That was a great day.
Yeah.
So why did y'all move around so much? Maybe I heard the story, but I forgot.
My dad's job.
Oh, okay.
He's in the auto industry. So, they were born in Kendallville, where I was born. And then my dad started working for a company called Dana Corporation. And Dana Corporation, he got some sort of a position change promotion thing to go to North Carolina. And then he followed them up to Sylvania, Ohio. And then when we moved to Michigan, he actually switched companies and went to work for TRW up here. And he ended his career, he's still consulting technically, but with Autoleave. So he was in the auto industry the whole time, and that's just same thing. It's almost like being an army brat, though. That's what it almost seemed like.
Yeah, that's what I always think, because most people move around, if their parents from the military. But I'm going to tell you something. I was born, raised, and have lived within 10 miles of where I am right now my whole life.
Wow.
I have, where I grew up from a child till my parents sold that house and moved to the neighborhood they're in now. When my son was 5, I grew up in that house or like on that block my whole life. And that's less than 10 miles from here. And, I've never moved.
I thought you said you lived in Texas before.
No. My dad's from Texas.
Oh.
Well, my dad's from Michigan, where he was born. And then when he was about halfway through his childhood and his parents split, his mother went to Texas. His dad was in Michigan. So he would spend school years in Texas and summers in Michigan.
Oh, I thought you had lived somewhere other than where you
I've always lived in California.
So basically, he came to Michigan, for like 3 days because that's pretty much our summer.
Well, yeah, whatever their summer break is, I don't know. No, I've never lived anywhere but here. Yeah. And I can say the same thing for Spectre because,
Yeah.
I mean, he went to only kindergarten. But the elementary school that my mom went to, I went to. And Spectre went there during kindergarten, but that's when we moved. So he had to switch schools.
Yeah. Umpty said he missed 46 days in his senior year because he didn't like school. And
I never missed school days, but I ditched a lot.
There's a Dana plant in Henderson where he's at.
Yeah, where he's at.
Yeah. And then Freedom Gal said her mom would let her stay home from school and would call it mental health day, and then they'd spend the day together. That was nice.
I didn't get that.
Wait, if you're going to be 55 this year, you're the same age as me. As a kid, we didn't do mental health days.
Yeah, was your mom like a therapist or something?
I know, because we didn't do mental health days back in the 70s.
Like, I never had perfect attendance or anything, but it was always when I was sick.
I know my sophomore year in high school, we moved from Louisiana to Texas, and I think I went like a month or a month and a half and just didn't go back to school. Like just hung out at home until my mom decided to go register me in school.
No, you know, it's funny because I'll never forget. I got caught ditching one day we had truant police officers. I don't know if y'all had those.
No.
But they were truant police officers, and they would pick up the kids ditching school. And we were ditching school, and they picked us up, and they haul you to another city, okay, which is probably about a good 10 miles from your school, all right? And then they tell you they're going to call your parents to pick you up. So not only do they have to drive further now to get you, but you also got caught ditching, right? So we're like, shit, man. I'm like, I am not getting in trouble. And I told my friend, I said, when they asked me, I said, I'm telling them I'm staying with you. My parents are on vacation. And the guy goes, you two girls, come here. And we walked up there, and he goes, what's your phone number? I said, my parents are on vacation. I'm staying with her. And he looks at her and goes, what's your phone number? She goes, we don't have a home phone. We can't afford one. They're like, well, then you girls have to stay here until school lets out and then find your own way home. We said, okay.
How could they take you to a whole nother city?
You know, because it's not that. I mean, I went to school in another city than where I live also. So this was even further from my house. Yeah. And but it was funny because, like I said, he's just, you know, nowadays you would never take a child to another city and say, well, no. But they did to us. We were in high school. This was in the 80s. And I remember the other girl with us, she told her mom, and we're like, hey, will your mom give us a ride back? She's like, no, my mom said, I can't hang out with you guys anymore. You're bad influences. I said, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. I said, man. And I was like, all right. So then they left, and my friend called her brother, and she's like, Joey, don't tell mom, but we need you to come pick us up at the truant office. You know, the one that you were always picked up at. And he's like, yeah. And she's like, okay, but don't tell mom. And he's like, well, I don't have the car because I think their dad had it or something. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah. He goes, let me see if Renee, which was their sister, will let me borrow the car. Well, then she took the phone and wanted to know why we needed to be picked up. So then we had to tell her. And we're like, don't tell your mom. So we're standing out in front waiting to be picked up. And guess who picked us up?
Her mom.
Rats.
Crazy.
I know, she told me you need to go home.
I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I have to get up early tomorrow because Lisa had a sewer line break in her house, and we got to go get a dehumidifier.
Yeah.
So I am going to bid you guys adieu. I will watch you guys. If you guys are going to continue to talk, I'll watch you on my TV. But if you haven't noticed, I'm over here like yawning, and I'm like sitting here doing this. So before I literally fall asleep on camera, which I've done before, I'm going to say thank you. It was fun.
Good night.
Love everybody in the chat. And I'll still be commenting. So, all right. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Night.
Love you.
Bye.
Whenever y'all want to go, it doesn't matter to me. I don't have
up to you guys.
I have to follow up Mama J's story, though. This isn't my story. It's my mom's story. My mom, here's the thing. We are from a very, very small town. Okay? It's one of those towns where it doesn't matter what grade you were in. You could name every single student in that school. Okay? Pretty much. And her school was even smaller than mine. Exactly. Okay, so she went to grub school her entire, student life.
Hey, Tails Pops.
And when she was in high school, they had the fire department come out, and they were going to do a demonstration on how they go in and find people trapped in a fire. And so they grabbed a few students, my mom being one of them, and they said, y'all go hide somewhere where we can't find you. They all hopped in the truck and went to the next town over for the entire day. It was only like a 10-minute drive to the next town. And so they just spent the day there. And then at 3 o'clock, they came back because it was time for school to be over. And one of the guys in the group yelled at the principal, like, hey, y'all find them kids yet? And they turned around and they were all right there in the truck getting out.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
I don't think they found them.
Nope. They searched all day for those kids.
Oh
They were in the
man, I'd
next
be
town
so
over.
mad.
She
Does
said,
sound like Little House on the Prairie, doesn't it?
yeah,
It pretty
one
much
classroom.
was, yes.
yeah.
For my mom,
I mean, it's a city called Grubbs. You tell me.
okay, like here's when I went to Grubbs kindergarten through 2nd grade. Okay? Until they finally closed it down. There was 2 grades in the classroom. That's how small it was.
I mean, come on. What city do you live in? I live in Grubbs. But you know, there's also Cumming, North Carolina. Where do you live? I live in Cumming.
Yep.
You know, I mean, come on.
We have Grubbs, we have Toad Suck, we have Possum Grate, we have Old Trough.
Were they drunk when they were naming these cities?
Oh
Apparently.
my gosh.
But
Oh,
listen
God.
to the names.
We
They're
have
like
Wiener.
really
We have
crazy
Wiener.
names.
What?
The names of the cities are like really crazy names. We have normal names like Bellflower, Lakewood, Cerritos, Downey, Paramount, Long Beach, Los Angeles, Anaheim, you know.
We have some funny ones too, like smaller towns called like Rain, Mowata. We have Mowata, yeah. We have like Eunice, Oakdale, Crowley, different names.
Well, my aunt used to live, which is more towards San Francisco, but she used to live in Cool, California.
Yeah, that's funny.
Anaheim is normal. Yeah, we have the Anaheim Angels.
Please tell Jenny about the big beaver, please.
Is Jenny even here?
I don't know,
She
but just
was.
message it to her. She'll know who sent you with it.
I don't think she's here anymore because she was just getting in from work whenever we started, so she was
Yeah.
a little exhausted. So I can imagine her job would be exhausting.
Got these on Amazon. These are the little locker ones. I got all
Oh, the
3 of them
doorables,
for
yeah.
$5 and something.
Whoa! How'd you do that?
Like a day or 2 ago.
Wow.
Yeah, all 3 of them for like 5 something.
What do you do? Just go on Amazon and type in Doorables?
I do, and then I hit lowest price first, and I look to see what's on sale.
Because every time I go, I look all the time for Doorables because you know how I am about Doorables.
I don't always look. I just randomly look, and I happen to come across those.
Yeah.
They might
I
still be on there.
I got a bunch sitting here just on the side of me.
please.
They're like giveaways and stuff. I have so many Doorables.
This one's full of keychain stuff. I guess that I didn't finish. There's all kinds of Doorables in here. I mean, look, it's full.
Mm-hmm.
And that's only one. I think I got like 3 of those over here.
I have another box over there with some in it. Did you see my video, Caitlin, that I put in our chat? I told you my room was worse than yours.
I mean, I wasn't going to say anything, but.
I admit it. It's horrible. I know. But as soon as the weather's good on the weekend and Terrell's not working, we're going to pull everything out, sort it. And then on this side.
That doesn't surprise me about Utah.
This side, he's going to put 3 more shelves lower to where I can put stuff over there. And then there's some shelves going over there. And then we'll put them all back in and go from there.
Yeah, you're going to finish that in one day?
The 3 shelves? Yeah, that'll be easy.
And take everything out and put it back in? Or are you just going to leave it sit outside for a day?
It's really not that much to take out. It's just probably about 3 or 4 totes and a few boxes. It won't take long.
I want to get one tote for just Lego boxes, the empty ones.
Mhm.
I have some Lego in storage out there, so I need to like round it all up. And I have some in this closet that have the Lego pieces are in there still, like they've been opened and put together, and I just took them back apart.
Mhm.
But I need to have like one spot for just all the Legos at one point. But
Yeah, I would love to have a bigger shed, but then I'd be putting more in. Because
Yeah,
then
see, that's why I try to limit, because I know if I start putting like collectibles in a storage unit or any storage area,
you're gonna be like Collective Conquest.
That's like, yes, I know. He has 2 storage units full of collectibles. I don't, you know what? I can't let it get that out of control for anything.
Plus, have you ever seen the room where he films? It is chock full of stuff too.
It doesn't surprise me. He's like, I still have a giveaway box from you, but it ended up in one of my storage units, and I don't know where. I got to figure out where. He's never opened it.
The funny thing is too,
I think it was like, was it the Ninja Turtle one or the other one? I don't know. It was one of those back then.
He complains about never winning anything, but then he wins and doesn't open it. Well, he sent me a box like he sent you, and I filmed and everything, and then I went to move the video over to my new laptop that I got for Christmas, and the video disappeared. And I'm like, oh, man. Yeah, he's like, did you ever get my box? I said, yeah, I opened it, but the video disappeared. Yeah, and I can't remember exactly what was in it to he's like, you don't have to worry about refilming it unless you need
some people, you send them a box and, I mean, I know that we all have like a rotation or we have a time period or we have this or that, when the video is going to get dropped. But sometimes it's like, someone will say, oh, like Bearded Barbarian. He keeps telling me, all I got to do is just edit my video. All I got to do is just edit my video. We all got those boxes in January. Chase and Ray's have already put their videos up. Ray's has even done little card videos onto his.
This was one of the things I got from Collector's Conquest.
Yeah, I got I have that one because that's the one I like, but I got a Luke.
It's a little ornament.
Yeah, I got a Luke in mine.
Girl, if you ever go back to that Hallmark store and they have those ornaments on clearance like what you saw, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah,
they had all those ornaments. I missed that one.
They had there was like some in there 90% off.
They were all 90%
and
off.
You didn't
and
buy
there was like a whole display of
She bought a couple.
Oh, see, I would have been like, give me like $20 worth.
Me too.
Here's the thing. So I was in the store and I was like, okay, which ones do I really want? And I just picked a few. I picked one that I already had and I sent it to Gotham City Collectibles. But then I'm rewatching the video, editing it, and I'm like, you stupid bitch, why didn't you grab so many more?
So why didn't you ever go back?
I don't know. I just never did. And I'm sure they don't have them anymore. It's March now. But, yeah.
Listen, if I find anything minis on sale, blind boxes of any kind, I will buy them. It's the sad part, and that's why I'm like, I gotta stop buying. Do you know, I was going through stuff in there, and I still have a box in there that probably has 10 of the Paka balls from the clown ones that are unopened. I probably have I started sending out things because I have so much. Remember the monkey heads that I opened a long time ago? Like this?
Yeah.
I have like boxes in there not opened. Okay. Yeah, I gotta figure this out because I got too much stuff and I keep buying more and not opening what I have.
See, I say I'm not addicted to blind boxes as much as these two are, but now I do that thing every Christmas where I open blind boxes, and ever since I started just buying them throughout the year. That way I'm not dumping a bunch of money at the end of it. I already have about 12 piled up, and it's only March, so I already have half of the stuff I need for Christmas already.
Well, it's funny because I tried that once too, where I was just gonna, and we did. When me and Spectre were still filming, we opened a different mini every day, and we just picked it randomly out of a bag or something. I think it was because I watched Caitlin do it, and I thought that's a good idea, But then I don't do that anymore because. And I was opening so many minis, I was running out of things to open, even though I got stuff in there I've never opened. I have a case in there of little characters, too. I don't even know what they are. I don't even remember now that I've never opened,
There's a video of me. I can't remember if I put it on YouTube. I still have the double sitting right here. Of me opening up these teeny tiny little Yu-Gi-Oh figures. And I bought, like, what was left of the box at discount, and I paid, like, $1 for them. And that video was so hard to edit. Like, it was just a little short one, but you can hear my mom in the background going, "Is that all they are? What are those little shits? What did you pay for?"
I was trying to film a video the other day. We got stuck watching a small town Mardi Gras. Back in the day, they used to do chicken runs instead of Mardi Gras parades and stuff like that. So they'd run around catching chickens and blah, 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 blah. Well, so this was a horseback parade where it was a bunch of people on horses. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to record that for the for the channel. You could hear my mom in the background just the whole time. And I'm like, oh, shut up. What am I
I've done that where I've been at a concert. Oh, that's cute.
That was one of my favorite videos. When you open these, they are so stinking cute.
There's another set of them coming out soon. You can buy them for like $6 on one. I'm trying to wait till Walmart gets them.
Yeah, I don't like to film a lot of concert footage. I'll do a few little clips and some pictures, because when I go home and I watch the footage I filmed, well, because I'm the one holding the phone, all you hear is me singing. You don't hear me singing over there. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not putting me singing up. I watch Mama J's blind boxes and then want them all. Right? I give them all away, and they all go to almost all of them given away. I don't have room for all that. I keep certain things, but not everything.
That's like people say, oh, I love when you and your mom do videos together. Yeah, but I don't, because I never know what's going to come out of her mouth. And then there's like a couple where I stop the video. I'm like, okay, I don't say that in the video. Why? And I'm like, there's some things just don't need to be said. And she'll just tell you everything. And I'm like, okay.
My mother's the same way. But here's my mom, the few times I have gotten her on camera, I've had to like drag her. Like, she does not want to be on film.
My mom is a camera hog.
But when she can be sitting with a complete stranger, she will tell that dude her entire fucking life story. But God forbid she puts it on a camera. Like, she's either one way or the other.
Because that dude may not know. She won't ever see again. So who cares if she told him? But if she gets on camera, we're all still here.
Yeah, well, my mom don't care.
Do we do April Fool's videos? We've never have. I know at one point me and Geeky Mama had talked about doing videos for each other's channels and putting them on the wrong channel, and we never did. So I don't think I've ever done any type of April Fool's video.
I used to watch one channel. I can't even remember what it was called. It was a toy review channel from long before I started YouTube. And every April Fool, she would put out she was going to announce that she was like only reviewing baby toys from now on, or only reviewing jewelry, and the amount of people that would still fall for it every single year in the comment section.
What gets me is when people put in their captions, "We're done," or "We're leaving," or "We're no," and I'm like, no way. And I'll go watch the video and it's not even like about that, or they're like, not going to do this part anymore, but they're still going to do this. And I'm like,
I get the bait. I get the bait captions and the bait thumbnails, and I get all that. And I've tried to do it a few times, but I always feel like, I don't like that. It doesn't work for me. I always seem to struggle with the bait content,
Yeah, me too.
But I know that's part of what draws people in.
Yeah.
If you just doesn't matter what's in the box, just make a light come out of it and go, and people will come on.
Yeah, crazy.
I've been enjoying doing the shopping videos. I just have to be selective of what stores I can go into, because if there's like a store where there's like 0 people in and I'm the only one talking and it's just like the cashier person, I'm like, I'm not doing it. It has to be like a crowded one where my voice is like lost. Like, I can be doing it in Walmart and there's people on the same aisle and I don't care. But if it's like a small thing, like GameStop or something, where it's just me and the cashier, I'm like, nope, I can't do it.
I've tried to do shopping video. They just don't work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe because I'm I don't want to I keep wanting to put my phone down so I can touch things, you know, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
so it makes it really difficult. And then I know we have a GoPro, but I don't want to strap a GoPro to my head and go shopping, you know.
Somebody did a pop hunt the other day, and I'm like, oh god, they're a terrible pop hunter video person, because like the video kept going over and you couldn't see any of the pops
Yeah.
because they took the pop and they're looking at the pop and the
Yeah,
camera's
see?
over there, and I'm like, what pop are you looking at? You know,
Yeah, I
like
catch myself doing that
terrible.
sometimes.
I'm like,
Yeah,
please
that's why I
give me
don't
a
do it,
pop.
because I've done that. I tried to film this thing about this Mickey thing they had at, I think it was Target one time with the pops. And then when I got home and looked at it, it was like half the time I was shooting something else because I'm looking at it going, oh yeah, and it says this.
Oh yeah, the person just kept doing this, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
have to turn the video off because like it was making me like sick to my stomach because they were just moving it over. Oh gosh, it's terrible.
Yeah, no, I don't have a cameraman, and I have to do my own camera footage. But like I said, that's why I don't like to do shopping videos. Yeah, actually, Spectre says what he thinks we should do is we should hook the GoPro up in the car so that when I drive, you're filming me. And he goes, just take the video and make a video of your reactions. He goes, because you react to everything. He says, you're driving along and you'll be like, you stupid ass. You'll just be having a conversation, telling somebody off, and you know, or singing along or whatever, you know. He goes, but you just cut out the parts you want. He goes, because your responses sometimes are just freaking hilarious. He keeps saying,
Yeah.
Well, from some of the
But I
stories you have
cuss a lot,
shared in
though.
our group chat, I would have to agree with him.
Yeah, me too. I thought about doing DoorDash for me and my mom, because you know how she just but she talks the whole time we're out. But I'm like, I don't have a camera to do it with because I'm using my phone for GPS to get to the stores and where I need to go. So I would have to. I have an old cell phone. I guess I could try to charge it and see if it still works, and then use that. But yeah, it's crazy. I know it'd be.
That's what he keeps telling me. He's like, just put the mount right there. We'll stick the GoPro on when you're out, and you know. But I'm just like, I don't know. I cuss a lot, and I tell people, you know, sometimes I say things shouldn't be said on camera. He goes, well, you cut those ones out.
Right.
I'm a calm driver. I'm not saying I'm not the best driver in the world. I will admit to that, and I'm even worse at parking. But I'm a calm driver. My mother, she doesn't curse at other cars, but like if she's just like waiting to turn into somewhere and there's just like a line of traffic coming, it's like she has a freaking mini panic attack. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna keep doing this, I'm driving as soon as you pull into somewhere, because like if you can't be patient to wait 30 seconds for the traffic to go by, like that's what gets her. It's the traffic.
Listen, Spectre always said, because I'm not a good passenger. I'm just not. And he always says, when he had his other car before he had that accident, we were going to my mom's or something, and he was going to drive, you know, in case I wanted some magic candy or something. And so he was driving, and as we're getting ready to turn, okay, it was our turn to turn. And this other guy turned from another direction. Where he came from, I don't know. And so, you know, Spectre says something, but I'm like, fuck that. And I reach over and I honked his horn. And he was so mad. He says, Mom, you cannot reach over and honk the horn while I'm driving. I said, well, you can do it. I said, I want the guy to know I'm pissed. And so then the next time I get in his car, and this was years ago, and Union 76 used to have these things you could send in for, and they were little horns. And he stuck one to his car, and he says, you want to honk a horn? You honk that. And he went, beep, beep. He's like, you can't touch my steering wheel or my horn while I'm driving.
That's so
My
funny.
mother, when I first started to drive, I drove my uncle's 2003 Jeep. That was my first car, and it was like really old, and I mean it wasn't old, but it was like dusty because that was the car he used in the fields and stuff. And the cruise control was just a button right near the steering wheel. And my mom's in the car with me one time, and I'm driving, and I have the cruise control on, and she just reaches over and turns it off. I'm like, what the fuck? What? She's like, you don't need it here. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't think I should be the one in deciding that. Like, well, you're gonna have to turn up here. I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to turn it off yet.
Right.
I know, because my mom used to do that too, and she don't drive a lot, you know, because she was having the cataracts issue, but now she's had the surgery. She might drive a little more now, but she's like, she'll be like, oh, wait, you should turn here. I was like, are you driving? Just sit there. I gave you the radio. You pick what we listen to. Or if we're getting directions, I make her use her phone because it keeps her busy.
Yeah.
When I DoorDash, Mom comes with me, so she'll check traffic to see if anybody's coming, and she's like, clear. And I'm like, okay. And then she'll be like, well, you know, you can turn up here, or why don't you do this, or you know, you would probably go right here.
I think your mother would be hilarious on camera. I think you should. I bet you if you did it, driving adventures with Granny, I bet you they would have tons of views.
We'll try it next week. We'll see.
And call it Driving Adventures with Granny, and there you go. Can you believe Granny said beep 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 beep, and then just leave it like that?
And then she'll catch herself. I'm sorry. I told you I wasn't going to say anything anymore. I'm like, oh, Lordy. I don't know. Some of the things she says may sound racist, so I don't know if I can put that out there.
Well, that's what the edit software is
when
for.
I'm driving, I can't put on video. I'm not racist, you know. I mean, my best friend isn't white, but you know, my adopted daughter is black. You know,
well, she's not racist either. It's just some of the way she
says sounds, and
I'm just like, oh,
it's the age. It's the age. You know why? Because we were raised where people didn't cry just because certain things were said.
Yeah,
you know.
But what I could do is block that part out and put like a beep over her mouth while she's saying that part or something. But
or just put a funny face over hers and beep it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to I think that because watching the videos with you and your mom, I'm telling you, I think it would be hilarious to watch her be the way she is. You know what would be even funnier is if you didn't tell her you were recording her.
That would be dangerous.
And just filmed it and then said, hey, you take your life in your hands in Detroit too. We all drive 10 to 40 miles faster. I am from California. We don't slow down for nothing. And I'm going to tell you, I got a ticket when I went on vacation in Ohio because they didn't have anybody on their road. So who was I supposed to keep up with?
Let me tell you, I can even tell her the video's going on and she would still just say whatever. She has no filter at all. So I wouldn't even have to keep it a surprise.
There you go. Brandy said, call it grannies say the darnest things.
Yep. My mom would just stay
I think that it would be hilarious. And you know what? People just need not to be so sensitive. That's the problem with the world today.
Yeah, I know.
A bunch of crybaby asses. You know, I love the women, the older women over there on Instagram that talk about, you know, when we grew up. And that's what I say. We drank out of hoses. We were told to go play. We didn't have phones. We had to knock on our friends' doors. You know, I mean, it just was different. You wanted to drink, you drank out of the water hose.
Well, I mean, I grew up a single child, an only child. So I had to do whatever I could to entertain myself. So I'd make mud pies. I had a handheld, one of those big recorders with the big tape that you would stick in there. I would record myself singing. I would rewind it, listen to it. Oh, that's terrible. So I would erase it off and record over it again. And I mean, I just did all kind of stuff to entertain
myself. I was an only child too, but my best friend of 50 years lived right across the street. So we became friends when we were 5 and 4, and there were 5 kids in her family.
Yeah, we moved around a lot. So I didn't have any real friend until 7th grade. So
Yeah, see, that's rough if you move around a lot.
Yeah.
I know that, like, for me, the 4th grade, I went to a different school because my parents had moved to this location. And so they wanted me to go to school by where we lived. And I was so miserable that year that the following year, my mom went back to using my grandmother's address and put me back in the other elementary school that I was
Yeah.
going to.
Brandy's just jealous.
y'all grew up spoiled. No, my mom was a single parent, and we would move one spot, and we lived there till she couldn't pay the bills no more. It would get so past due to where, and she worked 2 and 3 jobs, but still
It's
couldn't.
hard when you're a single
Yeah,
parent.
still couldn't afford the bills. So once it got out of control, we had to move and start all over until it got out of control again, and then. So no, there was no spoiling of me.
I'm not
was
going to
spoiled.
say, you know what? I was spoiled. I'm not going to
Mhm.
say I wasn't. I was an only child and an only grandchild.
Yeah.
And
Same.
my mom and her mom were close, like me and my mom are.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my grandmother did a lot for me also. But yeah, and I didn't have, my mom wasn't a single mom. I mean, well, she was a single mom from the age of 1 to 4. Okay. And then she married my dad, you know,
Yeah.
who's my dad. He's my dad. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, my biological father, they were only together like a year. So, but I was an only mother. I was a single mother for Spectre too, from the age of 2 up.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there were a few times that if it wasn't for my parents, it gets rough.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
cost, you know, and nowadays, I don't know how parents afford it nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was supposed to pay child support, and his bills would get paid first. And then if there was any money left, they would send the child support. But back then, that was what, maybe $100 a month?
My
Or,
biological father never paid child support. My mother never asked for it.
I don't think.
But I knew him and I seen him every week, but I never called him dad and never like referred to him as my dad
Yeah.
because I just knew that I knew who he was. But I would go to my grandparents on the weekend and he lived next door to, because it was his parents. And but he never paid child support. And I remember did I have Spectre already? I think I already had Spectre. Yeah, I did, because we lived in the other house. So Spectre must have been about 7 or 8. And my mom got this check in the mail, right? And she's like, what is this? And she opens it up. And it's like a child support payment. Okay. And mind you, I would have been close to about 30 at this time. Okay. And I'm like, a what? And she's like, yeah, it's child support. And I said, what do you mean it's child? I said, why would all of a sudden we're getting child support? You know, and my mom's like, I don't know. She goes, but you need to find out. And I talked to my biological father because there are other children involved too. And so I called there and I was talking to him and I said, my mom got a child support check. He goes, yeah. I said, but she never filed. And he goes, no. He goes, they took my back payments for April, which is my half sister. Okay. From another mother, not the one he was with. And he says, and I've paid it all up now. He goes, so now they're going to start sending your mom what I owe her. So I told my mom, my mom's like, no. So she wrote a letter to the lawyer and all this, and gave it to him, and we had it notarized. And so they stopped the child support because my mom's like, I don't want it. They need it worse than we do. So let them keep their money.
He barely paid, but his parents every year would come and pick me up for a couple weeks out of the summer. She would buy all my school clothes for the year. They took care of me. I never had to, if I ever needed anything, I could, if I really was desperate, I could call them. But my dad's bought me a few like fixer-up cars, and he fixed them up and gave them to me, but never like. And now we talk maybe once a month because of the wife he's with. We went one year and my children felt weird being there. So that was the last time we ever stepped foot in his house. When they started noticing a difference in how we got treated and where our pictures were compared to her kids and her grandkids' pictures were, and they started asking questions, that was it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I said,
I
my
mean-
biological father, like I said, I knew who he was. I seen him every week because I went to his parents' house where all the grandkids went.
yeah.
Okay. He has 4 other biological children besides myself. But there's a half sister that's related to the stepsister from the second wife, because my mom was the first wife. The third wife, there were no kids. The last wife, he had 3 daughters, and then they adopted his wife's sister's son as a baby because they were going to put him up for adoption because they didn't want him. So, I mean, he raised all these kids. They never had a lot. Okay. They
Yeah.
never had a lot. And, I mean, but they were always happy, I guess. I didn't really have a big, when I was little, but then when they moved about an hour or something away, and my papa passed away, his dad, and then my nanny moved in with my Uncle Bill, and, it just became a big thing. And so I didn't really have a lot to do with him.
Yeah.
Until like the last few years before he had passed away, I started to try to rebuild that bond.
Yeah.
But then he passed away after a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, my dad. Here's the thing: you can make jokes about grubs, okay?
Mhm.
But one thing that did come out of there was a damn good lawyer. As soon as my mom was wanting a divorce, she called up my grandpa called up a friend of his who came from Grubs, who was a big time lawyer now in Little Rock. And as soon as he walked in the room, my dad's lawyer looked at him and said, "We just lost."
Dang.
And literally the judge made him empty out his wallet and give all the cash he had on him to my mom. And that was the only payment that my mom ever got. Because he would always change jobs every time when it came, it was getting to the point where the authorities would get involved. And my dad, he would show up, my mom had full custody. He would just show up unannounced all the time. And I say all the time, I mean maybe a handful of times a year. We just never knew when he was showing up. And he would always show up with a dog. And I was allergic to dogs growing up. And sometimes he would show up with a new woman. And by the way, this is my new wife. And he did that a couple times. And I think I've told y'all the story of when I was 7 or 8. He asked my mom, can I have Katie for Christmas one year this year? So he can, because I don't know anyone of his family. His mom died either when my mom was pregnant with me or when I was little. And I just never knew any of his family. And he's like, let me take her for Christmas so she can meet everyone. And so he took me, and he just dumped me in a room with the other kids. Didn't introduce me. No one came over to introduce themselves. And by the time we were going back to his house, he's like, "Did you have a good time meeting your grandpa?" I'm like, "I don't know who he was." No one. He never introduced himself. They never introduced him. They just plopped me in a room with a bunch of strange kids, and that was it.
Yeah.
Probably about an hour, 2 hours, something like that. And then we were back to his house, and then I was going home the next day. So,
well, my mom got pregnant their senior year in high school. And back then, if you got a girl pregnant, you had to marry her. So his parents made him marry my mom. And he was an alcoholic. He was a jock alcoholic. He drank all the time. He would come home, dog drunk, then demand food, and then she'd bring it to him, and then he'd pass out, and the food would go all over the place. He abused her physically, mentally, verbally. He was I'd pee the bed because my nerves were so bad. He rode my face in it. And then he cheated on her with the woman he's with now, and she's a lot older than him and already had been married with 3 kids. The youngest kid is, I think, a year younger than me. So she's 8 or 10 or 12 years older than him. I don't even know. But her family had money. So I think my dad was trying to get in with them because he was friends with one of her brothers, and they were best friends. So he cheated on my mom, and then, my mom left and went back and left and went back. And then when I was 3, she finally got enough courage to when he passed out, she grabbed his wallet, grabbed all the money out of it, and we took off. and we got to where the city we are now, and I woke up and I'm like, it's okay, Mom, we could do it without him. At 3 years old, I knew that, you know, it was better for us to be apart than with him. And he's been with her ever since. I've never seen him drink around her. I never seen him treat her like he treated my mom. And like
sometimes
Some
you
men are
don't
like
do
Jekyll and
that
Hyde.
unless you live in the household on how men will treat their women.
She's very bossy, and everything went her way. I always
My
got
ex was very abusive, and I wasn't pushy till after all of that.
Yeah.
Well, all her kids got brand new things every year, PlayStations, all this and that. I always got their hand-me-downs. I never got anything brand new. When I went over there, I got treated very badly. Like, kids, when they chew with their mouth open because they don't know any better until you say, hey, don't do that. Or, you know, and she'd be like, quit chewing with your mouth open. I'm going to make you sit over there by yourself. And so she would make me go sit by myself and eat until
Your dad should have never allowed her to do that.
There's a lot of things he shouldn't have allowed, but he did. And so that's kind of why we have the relationship we have now. And until she's gone, him and I speak, we take turns. Like, if I call him tomorrow, he has a work phone now, and that's where we contact each other on his work cell phone. If I call him tomorrow, then in about a month or so, he'll call me. And then next time it'll be my turn to call him. So he's called me the last time, and I haven't called him yet. He will not call me again unless I call him.
Yeah.
It's like we have to rotate. It has to be, you know, equally thing or whatever. So
he's the parent. It doesn't matter how old you are. He's the parent.
And he doesn't ask why we don't visit. He doesn't ask to come visit.
He probably knows. He probably knows.
For my daughter's graduation, oh, we can't come. He just sent her money. Well, then when Trey graduated, I didn't send him an invite because I knew they weren't going to come. Well, he didn't send him any money. He's like, well, you didn't send me an invite, so I didn't know he was graduating, didn't send him any money, and still didn't send him any money. So it's like there's so many, like, I don't know.
And kids in the same family have to be treated the same. I've always said that, especially by grandparents or parents, because I mean, I know that it's not always true. It's sometimes something else, but then kids are like, well, maybe that's the favorite because they got something I didn't.
Kids will pick up everything, all of those little micro differences.
And they don't think it's, and sometimes as adults, we don't think, oh, you know, it's a big deal. But to a little mind with a little heart, it's a big deal.
And when we went that last time we went, they felt some type of way about everything that happened that day. And then that's when they started questioning things, and they felt uncomfortable. So from that point on, we never stepped foot in his. Like when I was working at DHL delivering, was delivering right down the road from their house one day, and I saw his truck. I saw him going home, and I called him. I said, "Hey, was that you going home?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I was right down the road." He says, "Well, come on by." So I went down to the house. He's like, "Hey, come on and, come in the house and sit." I'm like, "No, it's okay. I can't stay long." So I stood there for a few minutes, talked to him, gave him a hug, and then I left. Yeah. Obviously, she wasn't there that day because she didn't come troopsing outside. But I was not going to set foot in his house. And until she's gone, I'm done. Now, I'll speak to him.
Good night,
friend. We talk like 5 minutes on the phone at a time, and that's it. Good night.
Like I said, I he passed away, but we went through years where I never even spoke to him because I never looked at him as my father, even as a small child. And like my mom said, well, he never pushed because he knew that I had remarried and that, your dad was taking care of you and that everything was good. And so he never pushed. And, and I mean, that's all fine and dandy. I don't care,
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy you didn't when I look how they live compared to how I live, and, but yeah, I don't think any of the youngest out of all of us have ever worked, the youngest three.
Wow.
Yeah. There's me, the second wife. There was Jeannie, who's the same age as me. So she was a stepdaughter. So she would be a stepsister. And then they had April together, him and that wife. So she was my half sister, and Jeannie's half sister, And then fourth wife, like I said, fourth wife, he had the 3 girls, and if I'm 50, they've all got to be over 30. And I don't think any of them have ever worked.
Wow.
2 of them have kids. One doesn't even have kids.
When you have, I don't know, there were times where he said he was going to come and I'd be standing on the porch in a cute little dress waiting for him to show up, and he'd never show up. Or
that's awful.
He would show up sometimes with her, and then like I had to the only time I really had for just him and I was when he'd come pick me up or bring me home, because he lives about an hour away from me. But then there would be times where he wouldn't show up, or then he would show up with her, or it was just always it was always, I was never special enough to be, I'm his only child,
Yeah.
and the other ones weren't even his kids, and they got treated better than I did. And there's just so many different things and occasions that things happened and nothing. She wrote me a letter one time telling me, who did I think I was? My grandparents were coming down to visit, and they were, I was like, oh, I hope I get to come visit when y'all, I hope I'm off when y'all come down to visit, because they live like, at the time they would come in and out of the country. They would live about 4 hours away, and then sometimes they'd work in Saudi Arabia, and they would go and live in Saudi Arabia for like anywhere from 5 to 10 years sometimes.
Wow.
It depended on the contract he signed. And so they were coming down for the weekend to visit at my dad's. And they said, well, let us know what weekend you'll be off, and we'll come that weekend. So I set it up with work, and I let them know. And she's like, okay, cool, we're going to come that weekend. Well, the whole weekend, she would interrupt and laugh all like, and interrupt me, and then, stuff like that. Well, then after that weekend, she wrote me a letter. Who did I think I was? Telling them to come when it was convenient for me, and that I was just a little brat, and I would never amount to anything because I was with a trash man. And like, she just went off in this letter. And do you know, I never told my dad about that letter. Never.
Oh, hell no. That letter would have went in an envelope addressed to my dad at his work, and straight to his work it would have went.
I should have kept it and told him,
because she would have took it.
I didn't know what he actually saw if I sent to the house.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said to his work.
Yeah. So I just kind of never said anything about it, but she would always just, I don't know, made my life difficult, and it just got to the point where it wasn't worth it to see my dad.
It's not.
So
my dad was with one worthwhile woman. The one he was with right after he divorced my mom. And I say right after, like I remember her, so I was old enough to remember at least. I remember her name was Carol, and I kind of remember what she looked like. She made more of an effort when I was with him than he did. Like, she's the one who helped me get dressed. She's the one who fixed me meals. She's the one who asked where I wanted to go to play or whatever. Yeah. And he was with her for like, I want to say 2 years or so. And then one day he just showed up, and I said, where's Carol? And he said, oh, we're not together anymore. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then he kept, every time he would come back again, he would be like, if I ever get married again, you will be the flower girl in my wedding. And he kept saying that like over and over and over again. And then one day he showed up with his wife, and I'm like, okay.
Are you serious? That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why parents do this to their kids.
I don't know. But some men are just ignorant is honestly the only way I can describe it. Like, they just don't care about it. And like what you said, Sassy, about your dad like completely switching personalities from your mom to his new wife. There was a deacon at our church, and his wife's name was Mary Jo, and she was the sweetest woman. Like, she was the one that helped like the troubled kids in the church whenever she could, and she helped a lot of them. She got them, like, one of them, their mom was like bad druggie, and you know, she was the closest thing to an actual maternal figure to some of those kids.
Yeah.
But she was the definition of a slave in her house.
Wow.
She was allowed to go to church, to the grocery store, and home. Those were the only three places she
It
was
depends
ever
on
allowed
the
to go.
religion and how the man is, and
Yeah. And I remember, because, you know, we would go to church when I was young enough and my mom made me go to church, he would just be steadily declining to the point where he could barely walk. Like, I remember him, like, just cripple walking down the church with his, like, cane and stuff. And she passed away, and immediately he married another woman in the church, like, within the same year. And all of a sudden, that cane went away, and he was walking perfectly. You know? And it got so bad for him. Like, it was he had her life suddenly. He was the slave in the house suddenly. And I always just called that is fucking karma.
Yeah.
It got to the point where his new wife literally called the cops on him one time for breaking and entering into his own goddamn home.
That's crazy.
And this is a woman, I will say, before they were married, she was always nice to me and my mom. But after they got married, my mom and Calvin were talking one day. And by the way, I forget how, but somehow he's related to us. He's our cousin somehow or another. And apparently she got jealous.
We all know how. Go ahead.
Pretty much. She got jealous of them talking to each other. And he's like, that's my cousin. And she was like, I don't care. You only talk to me. I'm the only woman you talk to. You know, that kind of stuff. Like, he was a complete flip from how he was with Mary Jo.
Wow.
Like, it's sickening how he treated her. Like, he got his just desserts in the end, but, like, I just keep thinking about Mary Jo and how she was such the nicest woman you could ever imagine. And she was treated like shit. You know?
Well, I had a conversation with my dad's sister. Her and I, she's always been like one of my favorite aunts. She taught me how to shuffle cards. I know it sounds dumb, but
no, it's cute.
She was always just like, I knew I could tell her anything. She was like the cool aunt. She drove Harley. She'd wear like tank tops without a bra. Like, she had one of those wallets with the chain on it. You know, she was like this badass woman.
I didn't know not wearing a bra made you cool, but okay.
I mean, back in the day, you know, she had the body, blonde hair. She was tough and beautiful, and, you know, she just had it all. So she was like so cool. I always loved her. She would take me driving and stuff. Anyway, so all throughout my life, my stepmom treated her like crap. She would talk to her shitty. She would say things about her, and you could just, there was always tension, and it was just horrible to see her, how she treated her. And my aunt would always, you could tell it affected her and made her feel bad. Well, then not long ago, her and I were having a conversation a couple of years ago, and she started talking good about her. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why are you talking like that? She used to treat you bad. Oh, she never did that. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, and then telling her some of the things that my dad did when I was little. Oh, I don't think he ever did that. I'm like, I know he did. Well, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm like, I lived it. I know what he did, you know. And I started crying and everything. I'm not trying to say you was lying or anything. I just don't think your dad would do something like that. And her and I have not talked on the phone since then. Because how are you going to tell me how my dad was when I lived through the fact of everything, you know?
Yeah.
But
no, I agree. I mean, you know, it's tough, you know, it's tough with families anyways, but like with kids, when I got with Spector's dad, he had a child with another woman already. He had been married. And I said, well, you know, so obviously once we were together, living together, that child had to become part of whatever our daily life was, right?
Yeah.
And she got to the point where she didn't want to come over unless I was there. She didn't want to come
That
over.
says a
if
lot.
her dad was
That
there.
says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, and I would tell him, you know, you need to spend time with her. Go to the park. We would live down the street from a park.
Yeah.
I remember one day I sent him to the park with her, right? And so I called to the back house because there was a house behind our house, and his mother and stepfather and stepbrother all lived there. And the stepbrother was probably like 12 or 13. So I called him. I said, hey, JJ, I said, you want to go with me? I'm going to go to the store. And he said, yeah, because he didn't get to go out much. So I would call him to go with me. And so we left. And when we left, I said, oh, we're going to go by the park first. I drove by the park. That fool was playing basketball and she was sitting on a bench.
Oh.
I was so mad. I parked the car. I got out. You know, I was angry. And,
Yeah.
you know, and then, of course, I took her with me. And I think the last time she came over, which is really sad, again, he was very abusive. Okay.
Yeah.
Him and I got in a huge argument. And when he grabbed me by the throat and flipped over the whole recliner, it scared her. And so she never came back over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why I knew when my mom finally left and I woke up and I'm like, it's okay, Mom, we can make it without him.
yeah.
Because I had seen how he was, you know, and
Yeah, Spectre never see. I hid that from him. Never seen any of that.
yeah.
But then it got to the point where, okay, you're getting even worse. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna let something like this ever happen to my son.
Yeah.
You know, we split, and like I said, and when he was 18, then I told him about his father. I told him about his sister. And I said, here's all the info. You do with what you want. You're an adult.
Yeah.
I think he's seen the man 3 times and never seen him again.
Speaking of kids, when Terrell and I got together, there was a girl that said she had a kid that was supposedly Terrell's. Well, he never had anything to do with the kid. Terrell's mom went all crazy. Oh, that's my grandkid. For birthday, for Christmas, she would go all out and buy him all kinds of stuff. They'd go visit him 2 or 3 times a year. And so finally, Terrell's like, I'm not paying child support unless I know that's my kid.
Yeah.
No matter what his mom decided to do or whatever, he was like, I gotta know. So they finally, because she was from Florida, and they wanted him to pay child support, and he's like, not without a DNA.
No.
So they did the DNA, and I told him, I said, look, if it's yours, we're fighting for joint custody. We're gonna do stuff with this kid. He's gonna be a part of our lives, even though I didn't really want to because I knew what kind of mom he had. But regardless of that,
that just makes it more important for you, though.
Yeah, we were gonna make sure that he had. Well, come to find out, it ended up not being his. Thank the Lord. But I mean, his mom was devastated. Oh my God!
I would, if I was his mom, I not only would be devastated, I would be pissed, especially because when grandparents are like that, they're paying for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, her parents ended up raising him. She had 2 more kids that they ended up raising, and because she was in and out of jail, drugs, blah, blah, blah. But Terrell's sister, she tried to tell Terrell, she's like, I'm telling you, bruh, that is not your kid. She would leave after you would leave to go to work. She would put on makeup. She would dress all nice. And then she'd go down the road and visit some dude. I'm telling you, it's that dude. And blah, blah, blah. It's the funniest thing. Because he had curly hair. And if you know Terrell, he has short. There's like no curl. That little boy did not look like him at all. It was so funny. But his mama was convinced that was her grandbaby. But and then
I don't know. It's like watching them shows where they're who the baby daddy is, you know.
Yeah.
All these people that
you are not the
I never
father.
slept with anybody else.
Well, and then when I got pregnant for Alex, she want to call one day on the phone. I don't know how she got our phone number. She want to call and be all crazy with me on the phone. I'm like, hey, baby, you feel froggy? Come jump. Let's go.
Right.
you know, she never showed up or called back again. Next time I saw her, she was in an orange jumpsuit with handcuffs. Like, oh, you look good in orange. Oh, yeah. Mm-mm. Ended up not being the daddy. I was like, ooh, we still got that paperwork, too, in our lockbox.
They had that shit framed on the wall. Don't lie. That shit's framed right on the wall.
Ooh, man, it was
Not
so
the baby daddy.
And then when Alex came out with blue eyes, and they were like, "Oh, were you with his brother?" Because his brother has blue eyes. I'm like, I would not touch that man with a 10-foot pole. Hell no.
It doesn't matter. His brother has got those blue eyes from somewhere.
Yeah.
So that means
Yeah.
that in his blood, he has that blue eye running too.
And I have
Yeah.
relatives who have blue eyes too.
See?
So
That's what it is. Like Spectre has blue eyes. I have green eyes. I knew he was going to have blue or green eyes because his father had blue eyes, you know.
yeah.
And so I knew he was going to get blue or green eyes, you know. But yeah, my best friend's sister, they're half Filipino and half Italian. Okay. She married her sister, Jenny, married a Filipino guy. He's all Filipino. Okay. They had kids. Their first kid actually was born in Japan because he was stationed there. He looks Filipino. The second child came out. I'm going to tell you, that second child came out white with red hair and blue eyes.
Wow.
Okay. Then they had the third child. She looked Filipino. And then they had the fourth child, and he looked Filipino. So growing up, poor Jonathan was told all the time, you must be adopted because he didn't look like the rest.
Aw,
But
poor kid.
when her mother walked in the room with her red hair and her blue eyes,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it was a kickback from her mother.
Yeah.
But
Well,
unfortunately, he came out not looking like the other three.
Yeah. Well, that's like my mom and her brothers. Her oldest brother looks just like my grandfather did. My mom looks just like her mom. Because, you know, me and my mom,
I look like my mom.
Yeah.
me and my mom could be almost twins. Well, my grandmother was the same way.
Spectre looks like me.
Her youngest brother don't look like either one of them.
Yeah, no,
Either
I
one
always
of
say
them.
Spectre looks like me. Actually, it's really, really creepy. And I won't do it on here. But if I show you my biological father, you're going to be like Spectre.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have an aunt. The Aunt Tina that I talk about, that's really my cousin, it's her mom.
Uh-huh.
And she was born out of wedlock. And she's like in her she's older than Mama J. She's like in her 60s, 70s, something like that.
Don't you think somebody's older than me?
She's in her
She's
70s.
old. She's older than Mama J. Like,
Excuse me, you're the oldest person on this screen, okay? But you know, it was in a time when that was very much a no-no, you know, having a kid out of wedlock.
yeah.
And so her mom, she didn't abuse her physically, but every other way you could abuse her.
Right.
And she never told her who her father was. Never. Even on the woman's deathbed, she asked, "What is my daddy's name?"
Oh,
She still wouldn't
wow.
tell her. She's like, "It's none of your business." And so my Aunt Tina,
But for health reasons, it is usually.
yeah, for real. But my Aunt Tina went on and bought her one of those DNA kits to
Yeah.
find your family.
Uh-huh.
And they found her dad. He was already passed away, but found his picture. And it was like, yep, you don't need any more DNA tests. That's your dad. Like, just the look of it.
Oh,
Like
like I
that-
said, you know, I mean, I know Spectre looks like me, but I look like my mom, but like
Yeah.
this forehead and this other stuff, you can tell that I look like my biological father. But it's so funny because on that side of the family, I'm the dark one. I have the darkest skin, the darkest hair, the darkest eyes, and my eyes are green, by the way. And I am the dark one. Most of them are like blonde, like toe blonde, and blue eyes.
Wow. My boys, when they were little, if you look at their baby pictures, it's hard to even tell them apart. They look like twins. Well, then
That's crazy when
Trey,
that happens.
once Trey got older, he started looking like Alyssa. People used to think him and Alyssa were twins.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're like almost 4 years apart. They swore they were twins, and now he's kind of a little mix of both.
My
More people say looks like me than his dad, and everybody says they can tell Alyssa's mine.
yeah,
And
yeah.
Alex looks like his dad.
My best friend's son Dylan, he has a son, okay, Declan. And Declan, I am not kidding you, when they put pictures of Declan next to pictures of Dylan, I'm like, wait, which one's which? You know, and it's a father and a son, and he looks like, and even now he's 6 or 7, and he looks like his dad did at 6 and 7.
Yeah.
I'm like, my God, he looks like his father to the T.
Yeah, my mom had a baby picture of her and a baby picture of me, and you could only because she knew that was her baby picture, you could tell which one of us was which.
Yeah.
People used to think we were sisters up until
Oh, people always thought me and my
years
mom were
ago.
sisters too, because we're only 17 years apart.
Yeah, me and my mom are 8. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you in a minute.
My mom was 32 when she had me.
My mom was
Oh my gosh.
17 years and 10 days old when she had me.
19.
People
Yeah,
always say
they're
that.
19 years apart.
Oh, see, that's that's more. And I mean, we're not much more, but it's a little bit more. But when people would be like, "Oh, are you guys sisters?" I'm like, "No, that's my mom." She goes, "You don't have to tell everybody that."
Well, we would go out to the bar together and we partied
My
together.
mom was always going to concerts with me, so
I mean, people my mom always looked really young until she had all her teeth pulled so she could get her dentures. But before then, like, she was still getting ID'd, but we have Indian in us, so Indian people age very gracefully.
Yeah. So do some Oriental cultures too.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Like, I used to have this customer when I worked at Michael's many moons ago, and somebody was asking her something, and I swear to God, if someone said, "Bet me $100 that lady is under 55," I would have said, "Oh, I'm taking that bet," right?
Yeah.
And it turned out she was 83 years old.
Damn.
And I would have took a bet that she was under 55. And I said, "Oh my God." And she goes, "I know, that's what we were talking about." And supposedly this lady claims that her whole life she has washed her face using a cheesecloth, and that's why she looks so young. I don't know if it's true, but that's what she said.
That's crazy.
My grandpa's side of the family is like that. Like, there's no blood that I know of, Indian or otherwise, that's the cause of it. But all of them look just younger than they should be. Dar looks younger than she should be. My mom looks younger than she should be. My grandpa, the only time you could tell his age was when he was just about a week away from dying of cancer. That's when the only time his age really crept up on him. But you know what? I think, and this is just me, but when it comes to how the kids look, sometimes I think it's just the way God intended them to look like. It has nothing to do with genetics, and I'll tell you why. My great-grandmother had 8 kids in total. When the 6th kid was the youngest, she was 3 years old when she passed away. She was killed in an accident.
Wow.
And they say that she, even the vainest of the sisters will say that this kid was the prettiest of all of them. You know, all the girls had dark hair. All of the kids really had dark hair, dark eyes. Well, I think one kid had blue eyes. He did. But all the girls, dark hair, dark eyes. And my great-grandmother prayed for another kid exactly like her.
Wow.
She wanted Brenda back. She had 2 other children after Brenda, blonde and blue-eyed.
Wow.
Now the blonde hair darkened over time to brown, like to the point you knew they were all related.
I was like a toe blonde until I was about 8, and then my hair got like the light brown.
Yeah, but they were all full-blooded siblings. There was never no question of that. But the fact that those two last kids look so much different than all their older siblings, I mean, I think it was just God telling her no one can be replaced.
Well, and it's you funny you talk about that too. My grandmother, my great grandmother had one son, 1, 2, 3, 4 daughters.
Because they used to have a lot of kids back then.
He was dark
There was
haired.
nothing else to do. They were all
Right.
great.
Right. He was dark haired and he went off to the service. My grandmother was dark hair with green eyes. And then sometimes they turned gray. She had like cat eyes. It was so weird. And then then she had a set of twins. One was dark hair, dark eyes. One was blonde hair, blue eyes. And she died like at birth or whatever. And then all the other girls were dark hair and dark eyes. So it's crazy how it works.
Like, somewhere along the line that had to be there. Like, it's just a spin of the wheel which one you get eventually.
I think so too, because if you follow your line back, you'd be surprised what's in your family line that you may not be aware of. And things skip generations, unfortunately, and sometimes things pop out and people are like, it don't look like any of us, And then when you test, the child, it belongs to both of you, It's just things pop out from different places. My great grandmother was a twin, because I have pictures of her and her brother, and you got to remember, this was back like, I think some of the pictures are dated like 1908 or 1909, and her and her brother are both in the identical dresses, because they used to put little boys in dresses back then.
Yeah.
And I mean, I even have pictures of them where they're like 2 or 3 years old and they're in matching dresses. But yeah, they used to put little boys in dresses back then.
Yeah, there's pictures of my uncle wearing one.
Yeah, my grandmother, I always laugh. I always say my grandmother was cool before grandmas were cool, because my whole life, my grandmother had blue hair. Okay. So I always say, and it was supposed to be like a silver color, because she had her hair done up like the little old ladies do back then.
Oh, yeah.
But the color mixture, because they went to the hairstylist every week, her and her best friend, gave it like blue highlights. And my dad would always say, Ma, because that's his mother-in-law, but he would tell her, your hair looks blue. And she's like, my hair's not blue. And I'm like, Grandma, your hair is blue. And so I used to always tell, and it stayed like that as long as I can remember. So I used to always say my grandma was cool before cool was cool, because she had blue hair.
My mom, people used to think she dyed her hair because it was so black in the sun, it looked blue.
Yeah, I've seen hair like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My mom's hair is jet black. Like, she has gray in it now. But there are people who come up to her all the time and be like, what do you put in your hair? I want my hair to be like that. And she's like, do you see these grays? Like, this is all me.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
You say you don't know where your past comes from. I know part. I want to do the DNA thing too, because
I did the ancestry thing, but
yeah, that's what I want to do. I know my dad's family is from the Isle of Man, and then I know my mom's mom, her great grandfather was like 6 generations back for me, was born an Indian slave to an Englishman that came down to North Carolina or South Carolina. So he was owned a plantation and had Indian slaves and impregnated one of his slaves, and that's my great grandfather. And he ended up being like the first Baptist minister in our area.
Going through ancestry and going back and searching your family lines, sometimes you're quite surprised by what you find.
Oh, I want to know so bad.
I will tell you this. I mean, I stopped it for a while because, it is expensive to keep that ancestry.com going.
Yeah.
I do stop it off and on when I get kind of overwhelmed and I've done it too much and I know I'm not going to touch it for a while. but I know searching back on my mother's dad's side, I am not kidding you. I have found 3 men that have killed their wives.
Wow.
One with an axe, one with a gun, and one, they're not sure how he killed her, but they think maybe with his bare hands.
Dang.
Okay.
We are family.
Well, my mom's grandfather, when he and her grandmother divorced, he remarried and he, I think, killed her with a hammer. He used to beat her in the head with a hammer.
Yeah, isn't that, but I found 3 murderers. Yeah, see, I mean, it's so crazy. I'm just like, oh my God. Like one's like, she tried to leave him and she was at the diner where she worked and he pulled up and shot the people and her in the diner. And I'm like, oh my God, you know.
Yeah.
And the other one,
all those
they were supposedly out chopping wood and she accidentally missed the stump and hit him.
Oh,
you know? And I'm like, or he missed the stump and hit her. I mean,
oh
you
yeah.
know, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, and it's just so crazy. Now on my grandmother's side, we're related to a couple presidents, and we're like, you know, nobody's killed anybody yet. So
if only all those people who cut you off on the road knew what was lighting in your blood.
I'm like, I'm related to murderers. Don't mess with me.
Right.
You know?
You need that on a bumper sticker.
I'll be right back.
Okay. You know, but it's crazy. I mean, some of the things that you find out when you do that.
Well, like I told y'all not too long ago, my mom was looking on one of those and all the information was just so screwed up, and it was the recent information.
Yeah.
It had my
because it is truly supplied by people.
Yeah, it had my grandfather's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it listed all their kids, and half the kids listed were my grandfather's in-laws, like his sister-in-laws. And one of them isn't even her actual like birth name. It's the name that she goes by, but it's not her birth
Somebody
name.
filling in it, and they don't really know the exact facts, so they just fill in what they think they know.
Exactly. The aunt that I'm talking about, she goes by Teensy, because that's just her nickname in the family, because she's always been like super tiny compared to everyone else in the family. But her real name is Minnie Marin. Okay, she's named after her grandparents. And she's like, when she got a little older, she's like, Marin is a man's name. That is not mine. I'm like, yeah, you're named after grandpa. She's like, no, my name is Marion. They just misspelled it on the birth certificate. And she was trying to explain to people, like, we're your sisters. We know how you were named. But so I don't know if she ever did get it legally changed to Marion, but that's the name she goes by, but it's not her birth name.
You know what? People do that because sometimes parents give their kids really odd names. Like my best friend, her grandfather was such a Disney fanatic on her mom's side that he wanted, you know, they had already had her and her current husband, because she had 5 kids, her mom, my best friend's mom, 2 by one guy and 3 by another. And my best friend is the last of all of them. And, but her dad wanted her to name the baby Mickey Mouse. They thought it was going to be a boy. Okay. And she's like, I am not naming my child Mickey Mouse. Well, then they found out it was going to be a girl, and he was happy. He goes, great. Now we can name it Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse.
He goes, and that's better. She's like, I'm not naming my child Minnie Mouse. And he was so upset. And they finally agreed and named her Michelle. Okay. And her whole life, her nickname has been Mousy. Okay. Yeah. And,
well, the nickname is better than the actual name being Mouse.
And somebody said, hey, did Michelle come to school today? And I'm looking at them. Well, this is like high school, right? Mind you, we've known each other since we were 4 or 5. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, Michelle who? And they're like, Michelle. I said, Michelle who? And they're like, the one you share the locker with. I went, Mousy? No, she didn't come to school today.
My best friend and I, we were best friends from kindergarten till senior year. And everyone would notice how we were a little bit protective of each other. Because whenever someone said Elma, I would turn my head. And whenever someone said Caitlin, she would turn her head. Like we didn't respond to our own names as much as we responded to each other's. Like we would just always look at
That, I
But
mean, that
Elma-
was me and Mousy. We, even though we
Yeah.
were a grade apart, the only time we were separated was when I went to high school and she was still in elementary for 1 year, and then, or when I went to junior high, and then when I went to high school and she was still in junior high for 1 year. Those were the only times we were, and her last year of school, because I was already out.
Well,
Yeah.
Elma's Hispanic, and when we were little, she was still learning English, you know. And so a lot of times, like she would not talk in class ever. Period. She would not talk to the teachers. She would talk to me. I was the only person she would talk to. In fact, she was held back in kindergarten because of it, and that's why we were in the same year growing up.
Wow.
Because it was my first year of kindergarten. It was her second. So I just got really used to talking for her. Like my mom would get called in on, you know, parent teacher nights and say like she has to stop talking for Elma. She has to start talking to herself. But that's just how I always was. I would always, you know, not only was she like this much shorter than me, but like she was always just so much more stoic and stuff. Like, and she was protective of me too, but I feel like me more so because again, I was basically her voice when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even when we were in separate classes, they would sometimes call me in to be there, and so she would tell me what was going on, and then I would tell the teacher.
Wow, that's crazy. No,
So-
like I said, me and Mousy, we would complete each other's sentences all the time. And we would respond for each other and know what each other would say. Like I know when she first started dating Johnny, who she's married to now, they have adult kids older than mine, right? But back in high school when they first started dating, like that first Christmas rolled around and he's like, you gotta go with me because you'll know what she likes, you know, and all this crazy stuff. But you know, because you develop, sometimes your friendships are stronger than anything else you'll ever have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I have 3 friends that I've known. Now I haven't had friends since kindergarten, but I met one girl. She was 2 years older than me when I was in 6th grade, and her and I still are friends to this day. Another girl, I want to say 6th grade too, because they both lived in the same projects, and I lived in the apartments next to the projects. And then my other friend in 7th grade, and she was in 6th grade, and I barely talk to them anymore, but we can pick up where we left off. If that
Yeah,
makes
you know
sense.
what? Mousy lives about, you know, I mean, that's why we go for her to do but it's still like 45 minutes away, you know, and when you're working and other things, and she's got grandbabies, and, you know, she's got 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She just got a 3rd one. And, you know, so, you know, we all have busy lives and stuff, and she still works full time because she does hair for a living, and, you know, but we've gone sometimes 2-3 years back in the past when we were really busy with our lives and we were going separate ways.
Yeah.
But we'd run, it was like we never stopped talking.
Yeah.
You know, and like I always called her mom and dad, and her grandparents, grandma and grandpa, and she did the same.
Yeah.
When my grandmother took me with her to go see friends like on vacation or something, she went with us.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Yeah, that's like my friend since 7th grade. We at one point in time, Terrell and I almost split and got a divorce. Well, then we started going to church and, you know, kind of getting counseling and stuff like that. Well, when we started going to church, she was like, I don't want to know nothing about your church. I'm Catholic. I'm a die-Catholic. Don't tell me. Like, she thought he was using that to keep me. And so we just kind of, for like several years, we didn't speak at all. And then now we worked together a few times, and she was my boss when I worked at DHL, and now we see each other, and, you know, we hug and kiss and stuff, like not kiss, but you know what I mean, like kiss on the cheek or whatever. We're like sisters, you know, because her mom was a single mom too, and then she got married, and her stepdad kind of became like both of our dad, and he was there in some difficult times. So her parents and her mom and stepdad have always kind of been like my parents too, and you know, so we've always been like sisters. So, and she just lives right down the road, but we don't see each other very often.
Yeah.
It's hard, you know. Yeah, you know, it's so funny, but I mean, everybody always says, "Hey, let's get together. Hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do that." We even do this online, right? And
Yeah.
you know, with life or with how you feel, and sometimes, you know, after your long day, you're just like, no, you know, or something, and it's hard to get together with people. It
Yeah.
really is, you know.
Yeah, that's like the the days that I DoorDash. I don't want to come sitting here on live.
No.
Like, I don't mind doing lives on the nights that I'm off, but the days, I only work a few hours a day, but it's just by the time I get off, I'm like, I had been in traffic all day, dealing with people, and I just don't want to have to talk.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it, you know, and I mean, I know for me right now, you know, because I'm not working, but you know, I'm dealing with all these other things that's going on. But it's still, you know, it still seems like all of a sudden before you know it, you're like, dang, we still haven't got together, and you know, it's, you know, or something, and it's just everybody gets busy. It's so sad anymore.
I know we talked about doing lives at least once a month. Mama Jan I have even talked about it.
Yeah.
We went backstage once or twice and hung out for a little while, but you know,
it's you know. I mean, I've thought, you know, I mean, I do the Bearded Barbarian live, you know, most Thursdays, and you know, it's something to do. That's why I do it. And I don't have to run anything or do anything or, you know, but they're and now they're trying to be even more structured. I will be on, you know, I don't know, because the last show was like really structured and I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it because I know they're trying to build the show, but I do that one because I don't have to run anything and I like that. But then sometimes I sit around and I go, man, I really miss doing weekly lives, you know? And then I sit there and go, do I want to put all that work into a weekly live?
Yeah.
You know, because like tonight, we didn't do anything. We sat around and we talked, which I'm fine
No,
with.
we opened our very important little laser.
Yeah, but none of us had the right damn batteries. You know?
That's why I always would say yes to lives, because all I had to do was show up.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Caitlin had our regular Monday night with homespun, and all we did was sit there. So, you know, it was great.
You know,
I honestly missed that year. It seemed like that was it was right when COVID was happening.
You know, when COVID hit and all those lives were going on, and you know, that was a really good time.
Yeah.
Mondays were my favorite because we would have our homespun hour. And then immediately afterwards, the McDorks would go on, and I was on with them as well. And then I think literally the next day was Brandy's live, and I was always on hers most of the time.
We were Tuesday. Brandy was Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Me and Geeky were Tuesday.
Yeah. And it was just fun. You know, that's what made the collecting community fun back then.
It did. That's what built it really big. And then, you know, then we had that whole new group that like Sassy came in with, that next group that came in. And, you know, and that just helped even build the community even bigger.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, and then now, you know, people have had to go back out to work. People have had to go back out to do things. People have, you know, and then some people don't want to collect anymore based on different things. And
I think I'm in the live, and then we can just talk backstage.
That's fine.
All right.
Like, you don't want these little few minutes of watching.
I don't even know there's anybody in there, so
it's just two people. I don't know.
Well, one of them's me because I have it open here, looking at the chat.
I have it open too, so it's probably me.
It's us then. Okay.
All right. Well, then there's no point. We'll just end the live. Good night, everybody.
Bye.